Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this Movies Merica spoiler warning episode this Thursday night, or what I like to call pre-Friday. Okay, so hopefully you guys are kicking back, taking names, all right, drinking, because you know what? I know I am right here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this a little later on in the brew review time. But for right now, time to put that down. Okay, we got business to attend to. This is a Civil War episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning just for you. But this is an enhanced episode, everyone. Okay, we got a special treat for you. Got a special guest tonight that I will be introing after, well, the intro, okay? And so you'll just have to wait a little bit longer, okay? That's called tantalizing the audience, teasing the audience. I know, I'm so naughty. Yeah, again, Civil War episode. It's going to be very spoiler heavy. That's why we have spoiler warning in the title of the show, okay? So, but that's also your chance, if you've seen the movie, to come in here and live chat with me and the special guest, all, with spoilers and all about Civil War, okay? If you got praise, gripes, you want to, you want to put this movie on blast, if you want to sing and celebrate about the movie, that's all up to you, but you can do that live in the live chat, okay? So, but let's do this, and because we got business to attend to, and first things first there, if I can actually say that right. All right, so let me first give you something to dance to.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Oh yeah. So if that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what will. Like I said, it's pre-Friday, y'all. Okay, it's time to kick back, ease your mind, put your feet up here, especially at Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. And I want to welcome all my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are, to this episode. And you know what? I think it's time to stop teasing you and deliver the goods, okay? And it's time for me to introduce the special guest for tonight, okay? And I want to bring him up here. Put your hands together for Del.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. How about with you?
Pretty good. I can't complain. I mean, I could complain, but I try not to complain. So yeah.
Yeah, there's always something to complain about here, and maybe this will help. Remove that vibe to complain here, because I thought I heard some applauding here. Yeah, there we go. There you go. So it's hard to complain about that. So, but again, thanks for joining here. And I thought that your perspective would be invaluable with a movie like Civil War. I know that I've been checking your posts out on X, or formerly known as Twitter. And everyone watching right now, either live or watching the recording of this, should check out Del on X there as well. He's got his X. I guess, what do we call that, address or username there, right there underneath his name, or right there, or the link is down in the description as well. And so I mean, Del did it right. Okay, Del did it right. He watched Civil War like right before this episode. Okay, so he's got it fresh in his mind. He's ready to talk some Civil War. I saw it the first time a little less than a week ago, and then I saw it again on Sunday on IMAX there, because everyone has been talking. I'm sure, Del, you've been hearing the same thing. Like, you got to go see this in IMAX. You got to go see it in the biggest screen. You got to take in the sound and all that. And so usually when they start talking like that, I bite every time. I gotta check it out in IMAX there. But you were saying there that not too long ago, that your original job in the military was a photojournalist, or was going to be a photojournalist. So overall, like, what did you think of the portrayal of the journalists? Because there was a couple of photojournalists, and then there was a couple just straight out journalists. There, what did you think of the portrayal in the movie of those characters?
I personally think it was pretty good. I mean, from what I saw, especially from like the I never got to be a combat camera person in the military, but from what I heard and my friends who did actually do it, it seems like it was kind of accurate to a point. But the thing is, I just kind of like was like looking at different things like that. I was paying attention to like the military stuff part of it and like some of the stuff that they were doing, and it was kind of interesting. I'm still processing it because I still watched it today. So yeah.
Right. Now, because I was wondering, because I know with movies they do things so because some things just look better in movies, right? It's they do things for theatrical reasons, things where they can have a consultant right there on set, whether it's a military consultant or a photojournalist consultant. They have them right there on the set, and the consultant tells them like, no, we would never do that. But the director or the producer's like, yeah, but we're going to do it in this movie because it looks better in the movie. It looks cooler. Joe Blow watch this movie isn't going to know that that's not what you do in this situation. So now I know you said that you were never, a photojournalist there in the military, but did you spot anything where they did something in the movie where you're like, they would never do that, like never do that in real life?
That's a good question. No, you know what? Personally, I don't feel like there would be like granted because it wasn't very military-ish, but I don't think the civilians would be that close or whatever, especially without Kevlar on or any of that stuff like that on. So yeah, it was just kind of
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mind you, I will let you know I was a photographer. I just wasn't a photographer. I did photojournalism on my own. I wasn't a photojournalist in the military, so I still did some of that. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Gotcha. I was just amazed, because that how close they let the photojournalists and well, just the whole crew, the whole crew of the four main characters. I was just amazed, like how close the soldiers let them get. I mean, they were right there in line in the assault. And I don't know if maybe they just do like an agreement and before everything goes down that, hey, you can stick with us, photojournalists, you can stick with us, press, but you don't dare get in our way. Okay. If you get in our way, I'm pushing you out the way, I'm dragging you or whatever. Okay. Cause I could lose my life if you get in the way. I mean, if we have this technique, we're sweeping and clearing or something like that or whatever, and you get in the way, that's my ass. That's my life. And so, I would guess they have something prearranged, like, okay, yeah, you have to stay on my ass the whole time.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. Because they would have had to have that kind of arrangement because, they were right on their ass, clearing the rooms and all that.
Yeah, I remember when they started clearing the building, they started clearing that building when they went in, and the soldier told her, you stay right here, don't get in my way. And he told her to stay right there and whatnot. And so they were just kind of like there. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, when they were in the White House, and the one soldier's like, "Yeah, stay the fuck out of our way."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They stood still for about 3 seconds, and they're like,
"Yeah,
fuck what he said. We're going after him." So they completely disregarded what he said. They're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna let some soldier tell us what to do. We got a job to do." And I mean, and I get it because it's like that was the whole point of them leaving New York City to go to D.C. is to get the interview or get a statement from the president. So they're not going to be sitting there in the White House like, we made it this far, and all it takes is some soldiers say, "Get the fuck out of our way," and we're just going to stop there. No, we're this close. And I think if I was those soldiers, they looked at the end, when they were getting a picture taken of them over the corpse of the president, they looked like they loved having their picture taken. Like they loved being covered in the press. In the end. So,
yeah, honestly, and like for the movie, I don't know if you have any other questions for me but the movie, one of the things I wish they would have focused on a little bit more is like the different regions, like like the Texas with California regions or whatnot. They kind of briefly talked about it and then moved on.
Right. Yeah. My whole perspective on that is I think that, and Alex Garland has straight up said this, and maybe he's regretting at this point going this direction, but he straight up said, this is just supposed to be kind of like a peek, inside of the Civil War. It's just a long enough peek to show you the horrors of the Civil War. Just kind of as a cautionary tale, right? Like, I'm only providing you like 90 minutes of the Civil War, but what I provide for you in this 90 minutes better be enough to like convince you guys. Like, you guys need to like start, learning how to agree to disagree and all that before you get to this point right here. I think what some people are realizing is that this was not meant to be some 12-hour Ken Burns PBS documentary on the Civil War or anything like that, and that's not sitting well with a lot of folks, because kind of like what I said in the description of the episode, there's a civil war about the movie Civil War as far as people's opinions about this. You've got some people that are kind of realizing what Alex Garland was going for, because the movie I compare this to is Dunkirk. Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk movie, where Dunkirk by no means is a full-fledged picture of all of World War II, right? It's just okay. It's okay. Here's Dunkirk. Dunkirk was like what it's like 1/78 of World War II or something like that, and we're just going to show you Dunkirk, and that's it. We're not covering the Battle of the Bulge. We're not covering the D-Day. We're not covering all this stuff. It's just we're just giving you a Dunkirk, and not even all of Dunkirk. Okay, they didn't even go into like how they got to Dunkirk. The movie starts, they're already on the beach, right? And so I'm comparing Civil War to that, where Christopher Nolan was like, I just want to show you a peek, just going to drop you a little snapshot into this conflict here. And so once I realized that's what Alex Garland was going for in this movie, then I didn't mind it so much. But I see a lot of people, like, I don't know if you ever check out like Nerdrotic or The Critical
I
Drinker.
follow all of them.
Yeah, it's like, they say they understand what Alex Garland was going for, but then the fact that they're bitching about how everything's not explained to them, like, well, you say you understand, but I really don't think you do, because you keep on complaining about it. It's like I just don't think it's you're grasping the concept. But I think that one thing I wanted to ask you about is, who do you think the fighters in the Hawaiian shirts were? I mean, because that was the first scene we got when we got to actually see some action, right? And that's the scene, right when they went in that scene. That's the scene that got me jumping in my seat like a little girl who just saw a scary clown, because they went from that quiet moment where I think like they're all going to sleep, the night before that, and in the shopping mall parking lot, it's all quiet. All of a sudden, boom! Like gunshots are going off and shit, and the dude's like getting fired on, and I remember when they cut right to that scene, like really quick. I mean, I was like, oh, I think I lost audio on you, Del. I can't hear you. Let's see here. Yep, can't hear you. Nope. This will sometimes happen. Get the old technical difficulty sometimes. So, yep. Nope. Yeah, not sure what's going on. That's the internet for you, or technology. I feel your pain, Del. It's happened to me before too. So, gives me a chance to drink my beer. Hey, and everybody, hey, if you're drinking, hey, grab your drinks and give me a toast right now, because look at this. Look at the size of this damn beer. It's massive, everybody. Look at this. You guys should be drinking a drink this big, or if you're not, go pour yourself a big old cold one. All right. So instead of me yapping, I'm going to drink this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm in the content creation game, everybody, but I'm not like Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker like we were talking about earlier, where they do this stuff full time. I got a regular 8 to 5 job, and so that 8 to 5 job drives me nuts. And today was one of those classic examples of that, and so that's why I'm pounding a whole lot of this right there. So. Just can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Yep. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Yep.
I'm just gonna take all the fancy stuff off and then just
Okay.
go it like solo.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you want to go all natural as it were.
Yeah, my stuff is being kind of weird now. Even the tripod is kind of like it seems like everything went awry like all at the same time. Yeah.
It just looks like you're having a little earthquake over there every once in a while.
Yeah,
so
my tripod is so funny because my tripod it basically moves with me, and so like
Oh,
basically
okay.
I think it thinks I'm moving, so it kind of like went upside down on me. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
just stay still, yeah.
Is that a
See,
gimbal?
it did again. I may have to go even. Crap. There we go.
I have a gimbal like that does that.
This is a gimbal.
Is that what that is? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I have a DJI gimbal that I used to use because I didn't used to do live streams like I'm doing right now. I used to pre-record the episodes, and I used to use the gimbal. And the gimbal's fine when you're walking around and stuff, keeps everything nice and smooth and whatnot. But I couldn't figure out the fucking setting on the gimbal where when I'm just sitting here, because I used to have it up over here, and I couldn't figure it out. Like, okay, if I'm sitting still, gimbal, stop dropping my camera, and whatnot. So I would record these episodes, these half-hour episodes. Then I had to re-record them like 2 or 3 times because right in the middle of the episode, all of a sudden you couldn't see the top of my head because the damn gimbal would drop the phone. But
And
so
that's
yeah,
I have a DJI gimbal, and that's what it's doing right now.
that's what it's doing right now.
Yep.
Yep.
It's doing what it's wanting to do. It's not staying where I have to.
And if you have to, like, just hold it. Well, I was going to say that's easy for me to say.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better.
It's easy for me to say because it's not my arm that has to hold it up. So, but
yeah,
it's all good. Yeah, eventually I had to go out. I just bought like one of those camera stands where it's just stationary. It's the old-fashioned one that you can get on YouTube for $15, instead of paying for the $80 DJI Chinese gimbal.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna have to probably do it this way.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, looking good, sounding good, man.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, absolutely. So that's because this is not a formal show. I am not one of those shows where like you have to have a perfectly still camera. Your audio has to be pristine. There we go. Yeah, you're right. That thing's going all over the place.
I promise I'm not. This is nuts.
It's all good. Hey, the crowd.
Yeah, there we go.
I have to warn you, Del. I just added that applause video, and so I just added it tonight. So I'm probably going to be playing that a lot more than I really should because I'm like a kid. When you give me a new toy, I like to play with it a lot. So
yeah, I'm the same way. It's so funny is because right now, like, what's so cool is like while we're like doing this, I'm filming it I'm streaming it on Rumble right now. So
oh, excellent. Well, that gives me a chance to check for live chats here. See if we got any live chats here. And Del, just let you know, I lost your video, so I'm seeing a black screen. So either you went into a manhole or your camera is not working. So, but hey, you know what? That gives me a chance here while he's taking care of that to let you know here because I want to go ahead and not forget to tell you all about our let me do this here. I'm going to so our tdpn.locals.com website right up there at the very top there. Here I'm going to there we go. All right. So the tdpn.locals.com, the website, go check that out. That's our website with all our great Till Death Podcast Network content, like movies and blogs and articles and everything about movies and entertainment and booze, cocktail recipes, politics, hot button sizzling topics of the day, you name it. It's at tdpn.locals.com right there. And right now, as you see down below, if you put in promo code TDPN, you get 1 month free membership. Yes, you get carte blanche. You get free reign. Don't abuse it. All right, like Uncle Ben said in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, and with that promo code TDPN, you get great power for 1 month. Okay, so watch it. Watch it, everybody. All right. So that's tdpn.locals.com. Get there and check out our content that's presented to you in a way that you won't see anywhere else. And I don't know why I keep pointing at you like I'm some old man saying, Pima, get off my lawn, you son of a bitch. You're like, I'm going to stop pointing now. Okay. All right. So yeah, tdpn.locals.com. Get there. All right. Probably not going to go there now because I gave you that creepy voice. All right. Let's get Dell back in the back up here. There we go. All right. I see you, Dell.
Can you hear me though?
I can hear you. Yep, there we
Okay,
go.
good. Okay, good, great.
I'm seeing you. I'm hearing you. Yeah, so I hopefully we're good to go from here on out. But I think I was asking you the fighters in the Hawaiian shirts, or I was about to ask you, the fighters in the Hawaiian shirts. Like, who do you think they were? I mean, a lot of people were talking about like those are the what is the Boogaloo Boys? Is that the name of the group? Can't remember.
The Boogaloo Boys.
Yeah, the Boogaloo Boys, or because there's the Proud Boys, and then I think there's another group called the Boogaloo Boys or something like that. But I thought it was interesting that, hey, we've got some guys that look like they're part of the militia, not the regular army, that are just rolling around in Hawaiian shirts.
Because there were so many of them. Like, there were the ones that were like that had the like tie-dye hair that were laying on the lawn. Then it was the guys with the bodies in the pit that were killing. Like, they were killing like if you weren't American, they were going to kill you.
Right.
Those guys too, yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. I mean, because I think that my theory on the Hawaiian shirt guys they're kind of the equivalent of Mel Gibson's civilian militia in The Patriots.
Yes.
That's what I think they were. And also I think they might have been part of the Florida Alliance, because remember there was the Florida Alliance, there's California and Texas. That alliance. There's the loyalist states. That's the states that are loyal to the president. Then there's the New People's Army up in the Northwest. I mean, there's a hodgepodge of different groups in America there. But I think those guys in Hawaiian shirts, they're like a civilian militia, but I don't know for who. I mean, I don't know if it's the Florida Alliance or they're a civilian militia helping out the Western Forces. Western Forces. That's what California and Texas. Yeah, that alliance is called there. So, but yeah, I mean, but I also kind of like the fact that it leaves you guessing, because it's fuel for conversation, right? So it's gets everybody talking.
Because that's what I said. Like, we really didn't know who was who and whatnot. Like, I still like even the one, like I said, with they were dumping the bodies into the ground and whatnot, and they did that. I was like, who were those guys? Because I was like, I still don't know who those guys were either.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, I think I'm trying to learn to embrace the mystery, embrace all the questions, the fact that it didn't answer all that stuff for us. And so I think that, Alex Garland, I think, is subscribing to that whole, hey, always leave them wanting more. And, so it's cool.
I definitely want more, because I'm like, well, Did what's her name? Did she really die at the end of the movie?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, she had Kevlar on, so I'm like, I was like, did the Kevlar penetrate the bullets penetrate the Kevlar? Did she because it just goes off, and then like the girl gets up, walks away, and her body's still laying there, and then boom, she takes a picture and it's done. And I'm like, okay, is she dead? I mean, is she not there? I mean, what's happening? Here?
Right, yeah, she could have just gone into shock. She might have a pulse.
Yeah,
she didn't even check for a pulse, and that's one thing that reminds me is I don't think they portrayed these photojournalists, these journalists, as good people, because like Jessie didn't even check for a pulse. She was like, she's shot, she's dead. Hey, I got to get this photo. I got to get in that Oval Office and get a photo.
That's what it seemed like. It seemed like she just wanted to like get photos. Like, she really didn't care about people. Like it towards the end, like she just didn't care. Like the shot, it's almost like her shock and her fear of being a photojournalist in that scenario kind of like went away, and she just wanted to take pictures, and she was willing to get pictures no matter what. Like, she was willing to stand in line of fire just to get pictures. And then like I was like, if someone basically, if you called someone like it was weird was she called Kirsten's character Lee. She called Lee her like someone she idolized and looked up to, and I was like, wow, she really didn't act like it when she took a bullet for her.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like this. I think that this road trip that Jesse was on is pretty much like throwing her in the deep end, right? You know, like when you get thrown in the deep end as a kid, you know, you either sink or you swim, right? Hopefully you swim, right? And I think that she went through all those traumatic experiences. You know, she saw the two guys. Well, it started out with, I mean, she was at that protest with a suicide bomber. She survived that. That was traumatic. But then even at the hotel in New York City, she seemed like, oh, well, hey, you know, I just saw the suicide bomber. No, I was just like, just got hit in the face with a whatever, you know. And yeah. But then once she got on the road, and the first traumatic thing she sees is those two dudes like hung up by their wrists and tortured. And I think that was the start of her education, you know.
Yeah, or her education downfall, because
right, yeah,
she saw some dudes hanging, and all of a sudden, like, she started hanging out of cars, jumping in cars while they're going across the thing, and I was like, but I did take something away from this movie. I don't even know if I should say it now or wait.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you, like, overall, what did you think of the movie? So yeah, say whatever you need.
One of the things that I loved about what they said in the movie, Jesse said, and then Lee also backed it up and said the same thing about. Because Jesse said about Missouri, which is funny, interesting story. The actress is actually from Missouri.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I looked that up too, because I'm like the type of person I like to dig in and kind of figure out what stuff about the people. But she said that her parents are just hanging out in Missouri and pretending like none of this is going on. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of like the world that we're living in, where some people are just la-di-da living their lives. They're really not. Right. They really aren't paying attention to the things that are going on around them. Right. So they're really kind of lost in the sauce in Colorado. And then Lee said the same thing. She said, "Yeah, my parents are hanging out in Colorado and pretending like none of this is actually happening." You know, and I'm like, it's crazy, and I think that's interesting because I feel like a lot of people are like that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Overall, what'd you think of the movie? I mean, it's I'm getting an idea that you have a positive feeling about it.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't even because one of the things I think a lot of people probably won't realize when they go to see it, it's independent. It's an independent movie. It's not like a big major Hollywood movie. But overall, I think it was a good movie for what it was worth. I feel like it could have been longer, but you know, but because I feel like I'm left like I said, left wanting, like you've been saying, left wanting more. I want more because now I want to know what happened. What is the aftermath of what happened at the end of the movie?
Right. Yeah. I mean, because those end credits come up real suddenly, don't they?
Yeah, she's in shock. She's like looking there, taking a picture, and then boom, it goes off. And I'm like, okay, like, what happens next? You know?
Right, yeah. Because I think they show him like they're shooting the president, and then pretty soon it just says directed by Alex Garland up on the screen. Like, what? You know, like that's it. You know?
Yeah, we never got the president's name, so like you're kind of like, you're like, which president was it? Like I really don't know. Like, what year was this when this happened? Like, we don't know what year it was.
Yeah, what party?
Yeah, we don't know really don't know a lot about what was going on. I will say this: one of the thing I feel like he was like an old sage, wise guy, the older guy that was riding with them.
Oh, right, yeah, Sammy.
I was like, I knew he wasn't gonna last. I knew something was gonna happen to him just for him being older, and then if they had to run, they wouldn't be able to carry him along. So I knew something was gonna happen to him. So I kind of wished he wouldn't have gone out on the road with them. But
exactly, because he even said it like when they were contemplating whether or not to go talk to the soldiers, to Jesse Plemons, he didn't want to go because he's like, I sense death, and he says that line with such conviction, and it makes me wonder, I know it's just a movie character, but did he really feel like the presence of death, on him, because he knows if they go there, he's going to die, and sure enough, he does, right? But good for him. I mean, he saved their ass. They kept calling him old and fat, but I was like, your asses would have been smoked. You would have been in that mass grave if it wasn't for Sammy coming in and saving your bacon there.
Especially him jumping in that truck and then zooming in and like taking out those dudes.
Oh, right.
I was like, something has to happen here. I was like, dude, are they gonna kill everybody like in that scene? Because I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like they were gonna kill the other guy too, but before Sammy showed up, because he's the one that said he was from Florida. But I'm thinking, I bet you they were thinking. That's why I said I feel like they were taking out the immigrant people, because the guy said he was from Hong Kong, boom, got him. The other guy was like whatever, and he like boom, got him. And I was like, oh dang, I was like, and then I was like, oh god, they're coming to what was his name? The other journalist, the one with the accent. I think he's Brazilian in real life.
So there's Jesse,
I knew Lee, Jesse, Sammy, but I didn't know the other guy's name.
Joel.
I thought I figured they were gonna, before Sammy showed up with the truck, I think they were gonna get Joel too, because I feel like they were just taking out the immigrants. I feel like they were just like, America First. I feel like they were pushing up that America First, that nationalism stuff. I think that they were kind of like hinting at that without actually saying that they were hinting at that. But I kind of like picked up on it.
Right. If you don't look like White Boy Roy, you're getting a round in you. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, but it's like, and I know the guy was having a panic attack and he was losing his shit, but like, Tony, dude, like, did you not hear the answers that everyone else was given? And when the guy was asking, "Hey, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from Florida. I'm from Colorado. I'm from Missouri." And then he comes up and asks your dumbass, like, "Hey, where are you from?" Like, this is not the time for honesty, right? The honesty is not the best policy. And it's like, you need to say, I'm a corn-fed guy from Nebraska or something like that, So
yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I'm from Nebraska. I'm from Idaho. I'm from somewhere like other than Hong Kong. I was like, you see this guy clearly may take you out.
Yeah,
I was like, I would lie through my teeth if I were you, but clearly.
Right, yeah.
Because when he told Lee, he told Jesse and Lee, he's like, that's American. When they said Colorado and Missouri, I was like, oh boy. I was like, this is where they're going with that. Because this is where they're going with this.
Yeah, exactly. And then my man's like, Hong Kong.
Oh, I was like, oh no. I was like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, poor Joel, because I was like, I hear the accent. And I was like, I would have been like, no, I'm from. I would have said, he said he was from Florida at first.
Right.
But I think they wanted to know where were you born, that type of thing.
Oh, sure, right.
And I think that's probably why before Sammy showed up, I was like, oh, thank goodness Sammy showed up.
Right.
Then when he got shot, I was like, oh crap, man. They got rid of Sammy already.
Right, exactly. And then I started kind of doing that thing where I'm like, how did he get hit with a round? Because he was like, the guy got out of the truck, the dump truck, right? And he was the one obviously who shot Sammy. But like, he's got to be a hell of a shot or extremely lucky, because Sammy, they're driving off in the SUV, away from him, and he's shooting at the truck, and then Sammy's the only one that gets hit.
Yeah, because the thing is, personally, I think that girl that sat in the back, she should have got hit before Sammy got hit.
Right, yeah, exactly. But so I didn't quite get that. I mean, I think they should have had maybe like another guy that was further down the road that Sammy and them would have had to pass, that some other soldier that we didn't see, right? Just didn't see before, and also he pops out from behind some bush or something, and then pow, and then I would have been like, oh well, that makes sense. Okay, he's like just getting an easy shot at Sammy driving the truck, but this guy he's like, I don't know how many yards behind, but that's just stuff that I just need to kind of do that suspension of disbelief and that kind of thing with it. But I mean, would you agree that scene with Jesse Plemons that's the most tense scene in the movie?
Yeah, I would say that is the most tense scene in the movie, because the thing is, like, dude, like I think I told you I kind of struggle with anxiety and stuff like that.
No, sure.
And watching that movie, that part just made my anxiety go through the roof, because I'm like, oh
yeah.
Like my heart just went in my chest. I was like, oh man. I was like, hopefully no one dies in this scene. And then all of a sudden, the Asian dude, Hong Kong, boom, and I'm like, oh boy. We saw the driver guy laying on the ground. So I wonder what he said. Did he say like the Philippines or something like that, and he got taken out too?
I think he just got taken out because he was Asian, and obviously Jesse Plemons could see that, and
he had the white girl with him.
Yeah, the white girl. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that probably to him it probably added insult to injury right there. Like, how dare you be with our white women, right? And then when I think Joel, when he was saying those guys those are our colleagues, and I think something about that, weirdly enough, I don't know why that would rub somebody the wrong way. That like Joel just trying to look out for his buddies would rub somebody the wrong way, but I think like that rubbed Jesse Plemons' character the wrong way. And that's why he's like, oh, this guy right here, and then shot him. And when he shot him, just like, oh, this guy, and then boom, that's when my tension went up right there. Because before that, Joel was like, oh, we're just going to Charlottesville. We're doing the story about this college they're reopening. And I think we all need a good story right now. Don't you think there? And Jesse Plemons was like, yeah, I think we could use a good story. And I was like, okay, hey, maybe Jesse Plemons' character is kind of this friendly kind of guy, or not as bad as we thought, and then right after that it's like, oh, this guy right here, boom, and they were like, oh shit, okay, I like that misdirection. It got me.
Yeah, because like also because of them, I was like thinking like I had a hard time because I was like, are these people supposed to be like civilian militia type people, or were they
Yeah.
military people that just like suited up and decided were part of the military people? Were they turning guns on civilians? Was
Right.
martial law declared? Was it like
Right.
the civilians that rose up against the government? Like I was trying to figure all of this stuff out because
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, man, these people look like military, but they're shooting civilians, and I'm like, are they? Is it like martial law right now? Like, what's up? What's going on right now?
Right. Yeah. I mean, did they do this under orders?
Mhm.
Or did they go rogue or something like that? Did they pull a Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now and just go batshit crazy and just start,
Yeah.
just wasting civilians and that kind of thing real quick here?
Yeah.
Real quick here, it's got Unfolding Joker is one of our loyal watchers here, and Unfolding Joker is toasting us here and says, "All right, this is a collab episode. He's about it, guys." And a little love for Dell here. Dell, thanks for your service. Brothers
Hey,
in
it was my
arms.
pleasure. You're welcome. You were worth me serving.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I always say it's my pleasure. It was my honor there. So and yeah, it's awesome. Always like hearing that. But yeah, I think that my theory on that, I think what they were doing, those soldiers were doing is I guess that they were under orders and they, because they basically killed all those people. They were dumping them in that
Mhm.
mass grave right there. And I think that everyone was going to get smoked right there because Sammy had a good point. These guys don't want you to see what they're doing. They don't want to be seen doing what they're doing. So all of a sudden, it's not like a bunch of farmers walking up to them. Hey, how you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like some journalists, it's some
Yeah.
press until they're really going to tell everybody, there. So I
And
just
then
think they just weren't thinking.
and it kind of like the whole. I don't know how you do things, but this is the kind of thing. One of the things I noticed how they subtly put things in there that like if you weren't paying attention you wouldn't catch it. But also it made it seem like, and I don't want to get political on you, but if you don't mind,
Please,
but
please, please,
okay.
have at it.
This is how I looked at it. The way the journalists were in the movie, it made it seem like the far right wing people were against the journalists, and so like they were willing to kill journalists because they
Sure.
were against them. And that's what I picked up on that because these guys said they were journalists, but like boom, they got taken out, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden I'm like, which kind of president was this that they assassinated? Because these people, like the people that went into the White House, those people from my military and me, being in the military, and whatnot. Those guys actually they looked military, and I'm
Hmm.
like, why would they go in and assassinate a president? That could
Hmm.
like I was like, and what side of the aisle is it? Because good thing they don't tell you what side.
Right.
You're just left to like wonder like, okay, why would they assassinate a president? What did this president do to make
Right.
these people rise up and want to take him out?
Yeah, exactly. And there's like little breadcrumbs, little clues in this movie that kind of show you, kind of give you a picture inside Alex Garland's mind, because he not only directed this movie, he wrote it. This movie is his baby. So
Mhm.
if there's something you suspect, it's from Alex Garland's brain, right? And he's straight out said, yeah, he's a left wing. He's left wing. That's his politics.
Mhm.
But more power to. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Everyone has their political preferences, right? Just don't create havoc or hostility or whatever. But when he thinks of a president that is hostile towards journalists, he's thinking of one guy
Right.
and one guy only, right?
Yeah.
And so of course the president in this movie just happens to be this president that's hostile towards the press, hostile towards journalists, and he's got his loyalist troops, like you said. They're shooting journalists on site in D.C. and in New York or wherever. I think it was just D.C. There, but yeah, there's little clues there as to who these characters are supposed to be there, and so that's why I've always thought, like, yeah, Nick Offerman as a president, I think that's supposed to be Trump.
Mhm.
And it also, like, another clue for me is the fact that they didn't have him down in a bunker. They had him like hiding behind the desk. And that is just just rub one out material for your typical Democrat right there, of like the image of Donald Trump hiding behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, and our hero Democrats coming in to save the day and dragging his dumb orange ass out from behind the desk, and dragging him around with his fingers clutching the desk, and like that's fantasy. Like I just picture like Joy Reid like just getting a little too excited at the image of Donald Trump being, dragged out of the Oval Office while he's clutching the Resolute desk right there. And so when that happened in this movie, instead of him being in a bunker, I'm like, I see what you're doing there, Alex Garland. It's got like a wish fulfillment fantasy kind of thing. But I don't know. That might just be me.
Yeah,
I was just kind of like, I was like, man, I started thinking like one little bitty things just kept making me in the movie kept making me think, and I'm like, I see a lot of this stuff. I see an angle here, and like I was like, I clearly the angle is the angle that I think it is, but I'm trying to use the benefit of the doubt because also I heard that they said I don't know if it was him that said it or some of the actors that said it. They said it was a love letter to journalists.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, okay. And the thing is, somebody who actually wanted to be a journalist and kind of like does a little bit of that on my own now, I was like, I can kind of see some of the bias in the movie. But like I said, overall, I think it was a good movie. It was a good story. It was kind of like interesting to see how things go
Yeah.
and how things could end up if people don't learn how to unite with each other.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like with the photojournalists, I don't have a problem with Alex Garland using them as the protagonists in this movie or using them as the main characters because the only other alternative I can think of is as far as having as your main characters are like soldiers, right? Soldiers from this side or soldiers from that side. And that opens it up to politics, right? That opens it up to, these soldiers talking about their side of the cause or that kind of thing. Where photojournalists, you can portray them as kind of neutral, like they're your eyes and ears to the situation, to what's going on, without them being forced to, oh yeah, that president is bad, we got to get him, or we have to save our president. Like they don't have to have those conversations.
Mhm.
They can just be our eyes and ears. And so for that reason, I get like why he used journalists there. But in another part of me is like, what I think made the photojournalists or the journalists look bad is the fact that they seemed inhuman just from situations like at the very beginning with the suicide bomber, and the suicide bomber blows up all those people, and you just got bodies, carnage, blood, limbs laying everywhere, right? And Lee's first instinct is, I'll just start taking pictures of it, not helping them out. Well, yeah, if you're a journalist, if you're a photojournalist, if you're in that game, you probably look at it like, well, yeah, that's what she needs to be. She needs to be indifferent. She needs to compartmentalize and stay away from that to do her job and whatnot. Otherwise, she's not going to be able to take photos. But I think, Norm is going to look at that like, what a heartless bitch. She should be helping those people and whatnot. Like she should be, checking in for a pulse and, flagging out ambulances and whatnot. Like she shouldn't be taking pictures of that. And so because I think that Norm is going to think that, I don't think this movie is necessarily portraying journalists and photojournalists as good guys, because, and the reason I bring that up is because I've heard folks like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, well, I should say just Nerdrotic, say that he thinks like this movie is trying to make these journalists out to be heroic protagonists in this. And I don't know. I think it's just kind of down to your interpretation of the movie or what your morality is or whatever.
I think, and I was gonna say, yeah, it depends on your interpretation of the movie because it depends on what way you. Here's the deal, because if you had preconceived notions going into the movie, you're gonna have those preconceived notions when you leave that movie. Because the thing
Exactly.
is, you were thinking one way when you went in, you're gonna leave that way because you're gonna be like that. Me, I went in unbiased, not really like I was like, okay, Civil War. I saw like a trailer. I wasn't really paying attention. I heard a little bit about it here and there. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in with an open mind. And I saw I will say this. I saw these journalists. I saw them as also kind of heartless.
Sure.
Like you said, like with the bombing thing and all the everything, things were happening, and all they could think of was just getting a picture, not really caring. And
Right.
that's kind of like that says a lot about today's society now. Like if someone could see like a little old lady getting attacked in a parking lot somewhere, their first instinct is to get up and film
Right.
it versus to actually go help the old lady that's getting beat up by grown men or whatever. And I
Right.
was like, and then, so that's the way. That's what I got from the whole journalist thing. Just wanting to get the picture, get the story, get the picture. Because
Right.
I'm like, so that's what I got from it. I was like, 'cause nowadays people will just film something versus helping someone.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of people will film it like, this is going to look good on my Instagram page, or I'm going to get so much clout from this video, Yeah, I could be helping that nice old lady over there, but I'm not doing that now. and I guess the flip side of that is now it's getting to a point where, at least like in New York City, I'm just going to talk about New York City, but now if you try to help somebody out, you could get arrested, now, so, like that Marine, took out the guy in the subway that was threatening everyone's lives and whatnot. Like, and unfortunately for the Marine, well, and unfortunately for the victim, I guess, but, he accidentally killed the guy. And so that brings it up to a whole nother level. But, but what you and I would think, like, hey, I'm just helping this old lady out here. She's getting mugged. She's getting her, she's getting her cranium cracked in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to go there and help her out. But you just never know. Like, am I going to get arrested? I don't know. I mean, like, am I going to get sued? So there's like that conflict. Like, what do I do? But your point still stands. Where, yeah, you see instances like that where women are getting attacked on subways and buses out somewhere, and everyone, the first thing they do is grab their camera, start shooting footage and whatnot. So it's like, it just says something about us as people, right? Our mentality, our morality level, our humanity. And some might argue, like, are we even worth saving? Is this a republic even worth saving? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, because I've it's coming more and more to the realization now, like, the government, it's a problem, but so is the people.
Yeah, it's
like
the people.
Yeah.
It's the people big time. And sometimes, dude, I legit want to grab like some of my I want to grab all my veteran friends, and we all just create our own little community with a big border around it, and just
or
take ourselves away from the civilians.
Right.
I was like this because it's like, dude, every other veteran I meet, it seems like we're like, dude, like, what the heck is going on in the world around us? I can't believe we served for these people.
Right.
And sometimes, and I'm like, dude, people are like fighting each other, and then you have us that go into the military. We go in the military. We're like, what do you call it? You bring people from all over the country and whatnot, and we all somehow work together and make things work, and we're unified to one mission and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wish the civilian world could be like that too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because they need that, like, it's like the world needs that bonding experience that the military gives you. Because when you're in basic, and whether it's in the Marines or Air Force, I mean, people laugh at the Air Force basic training, but it's still like, harder than your average civilian day, right? It's still harder than your average day of going to the pool and having a beer, right? So it's still hard enough to form those bonds between everyone that's in your platoon, your element, your squad, whatever, right? And so, like you said, it's like all of the preconceived divisions between race and whatever, that all goes right out the window, because you're all suffering together, right? You're all, and so you guys, it kind of just forges everybody together, kind of welds everybody together. And the world needs that. It needs that kind of that suffering together, so to speak. And that might come. You never know. Someone might drop some nukes somewhere, or we might have a common enemy, invade, and next thing you know, hey, my neighbor over there that always has that stupid Bernie sign out in the front yard, now he's my best buddy, because now we're having to protect each other against this common foe over there, So,
yeah. And even as a caveat, to go back to the movie, the reason why personally, part of me feels like the way some of those journalists, like the way Lee, played by Kirsten Dunst, I think my question is, how long has this civil war been going on? In what year? Because the thing is, it depends on how long. Because the thing is, after I watched The Walking Dead up until like the 5th or 6th season, and the thing is, I was like, what were they like before that? Like, how did they get to that point to where they were like that, to where they had no human emotion? Because she was chode towards Jesse, like, for no reason. It's just like she was just like, you're in my way. I really don't want you here. I really don't want you around, type of thing.
Right.
And like she said, and something was said about her. Sammy got her to talk to him because he was basically what Sammy brought out was basically Lee was just like Jesse not so long ago, and she was happy about things and whatnot. What got her to the point to where she was just cold and off to the world around her?
Right, exactly. And it wasn't a maternal thing too. Like, was she just like, I don't have to worry about this girl that I think of as a daughter or something like that? I want to be able to do my job. And if I have this 23-year-old girl that looks like she's 12, I don't want to. Do I have to I don't want to have to, have my don't have to follow my maternal instincts this whole time and worry about her. Like I have my daughter's on the trip. So I don't know if that was it too, or or is she just like, she's a naturally mean person to everybody that she doesn't know, that kind of thing. But it's a good question. Like, how long has the Civil War been going on? And, to me, I would guess it's been going on for a while because, it's California and Texas as part of the Western forces, and they had to get all the way from California and Texas to D.C., get them to Charlottesville and whatnot. And then we saw all that damage, to all the towns, and you had high rises that were blown to hell, and helicopters, and cars all gutted out in the interstates and that kind of thing. I don't think like there's any nuclear detonations because there's no way you drive around those. I mean, at least not on the East Coast. But all that to say is, my guess would be like that Civil War has been going on for a while, 3, 4, 5 years at least, probably.
Yeah, then I was because even when they ended up in the town where they ended up in that shop, that it was a consignment shop where they bought like the dress or whatever, and the girl was just sitting there listening to me, like reading whatever, just like kind of like hanging out.
Right.
Was, man, this just seems like a picture out of like the 80s or 90s or whatever. It just seems like the way the town was.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when they come outside and then Lee she gets a drink, she kind of takes a cigarette and kind of like looks around and looks up, and you see the guys with the guns on top of the building too. So like basically, they're there, but they're just kind of like keeping that town safe to where nobody, if somebody tries to come in and do anything, they'd be taken out from the roof.
Right.
And I was like, what are they doing in this little town where everything just kind of looks clean and everything looks normal? The lady was outside walking her dog on the sidewalk and everything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
wow.
like, an armed society is a polite society. Right there.
Yep.
Yes. They're looking after their own right there. They're kind of like those armed Koreans,
the rooftop Koreans,
the rooftop Koreans in LA is all that, like that kind of thing. And so it's like good guys with guns looking out for the community. But it was kind of weird. I mean, I like how they're driving into town and Joel's like, did we just drive through a time portal?
Yeah. And I was telling somebody, I was like, honestly, it would be that's how I think it should go back to. I honestly think it should, like, we should go back to like neighborhood watches.
Yeah.
Like neighborhood watches where everybody's looking out for each other and everybody's like protecting each other, because I hate to bring this up, even like still just like last night here in Texas and a couple of other states, 911 went down.
Oh shit! No, I did not know
911 went down in Texas and a few other states. The 911 services went down, and they put out a message saying, that basically, just make sure you're good to go because we can't be reached right now. And I was like, you know what? I hate to say the conspiracy theorist in me, but like,
sure, right?
I was like, dude, are they preparing us for the Civil War type stuff?
Right.
I was like, this movie seems way. And the thing is, every movie I see, it's all predictive programming to me. So I was like, are they trying to prepare us for something?
Right.
And I was like, 911. Here's the deal: our cell phones went down about a month or two ago. Now the 911 services are going down now too.
Right. Yeah,
it's
like, is this a dry run? Are like some bad actors doing a dry run?
Yeah, and then
something like that.
We got a wide open border where we have men from China, men from the Middle East, and all this other stuff. And like I'm like, and it's all men and no women and children. So I'm like the Chinese guys aren't coming here to create Chinese restaurants.
Right, right, yeah, a bunch of fighting age males, man.
Yeah. And so I was like, are we being prepared for something and whatnot? But I was like, this movie just really, but like I said, I went into the movie with a positive attitude. I went into the movie like wanting to like be understanding. Like I could see like what they were trying to put down with like some of the like the biases and the narrative type stuff. But what I did like is that they basically didn't tell you who it was, because it could be either side.
Right.
If you live in your echo chamber, because I mean, if the people on the right could say, oh yeah, that was the good guys taking out Joe Biden, or the people on the left could be, oh, those are the good guys taking out Donald Trump. Like it just depends like how you look at it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's obscure enough to where it could serve as many people's, wish fulfillment fantasy, where you can put whatever face, whatever name to that face for the president that you want. If you want to pretend that's Joe Biden, you can. If you want to pretend that's Donald Trump, you can. You've got that right there. But yeah, there's plenty of like clues that they put out there that you could go through and whatnot. But real quick here, I'm going to promote here. We're going to have our Bannies Award show, Del, and if you're available on Saturday night to check out our Bannies Award show for the Till Death Podcast Network. You've heard of the Oscars, the Grammys, the Golden Globes, right? Well, so yearly now, the Till Death Podcast Network, of which I'm a member of, or one of the titans of the Till Death Podcast Network. We're having our Bannies Award show this Saturday night. So on 420, everyone has a chance to win Hail Our Bannies Award show. And that's going to be at 8 Eastern this Saturday night here. But here's a little promo for everyone to enjoy. Oh, yeah. So, everyone needs to check that out this Saturday night, because we're going to have like cool guests on, or not cool guests. Well, we're going to have cool guests. You saw that right there, but we're going to have like cool awards that we're giving out here. I'm like trying to stealthily get my cheat sheet out here. I got our awards like the most banned movie / pop culture personality. We've got like the most banned sports figure. So we're going to have our award winners announced on the Bannies this Saturday night. We're going to have like other goodies sprinkled in and out of the show this Saturday night. So definitely everyone needs to check it out. So, because that's when it really will be the weekend right now. It's not pre-Friday like it is right now. But and this is our inaugural one, Del. This is our inaugural one. So that's another reason that everyone should watch, because you could see us like falling a bunch of banana peels, this whole time. It could get really ugly, because this is our inaugural one. It's our very first one there. And also, just want to remind everybody, hey, if you're liking what you're hearing or liking what you're watching here, hit that like button down below. Hit the like button down there. Smash that like button down there, okay? Like those troops, in Civil War, or smashing them troops there in D.C. Smash that like button. And then also smash that subscribe or follow button down there as well, okay? But only if you haven't already, okay? If you hit it again, well, then you're going to unsubscribe. We don't want that, right? And then there's a notification bell down there as well, and you want to hit that so that you get notified of hot, sizzling, fresh episodes of Movies Merica whenever a new one comes out. And then also, if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this, say you're watching this like in 17 years, okay? And, by the way, if you're watching this in 17 years, hi, everybody, in 17 years, get down the comments section down below and put a comment down there. Let me know, hey, what do you think of Civil War? Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you liked it, who's your favorite character? Are you sorry you ever heard of this movie? Tell me, hey, something that you think I should do better, something I need to improve on. I mean, not to imply that I'm not perfect doing this show. I mean, I'm sure I'm doing everything perfectly flawless, but but yes, I want to remind you guys of doing all of that. I want to hear from you, because it's kind of boring me talking to myself. And tonight I'm lucky enough I got Del here to talk to, but I don't have a guest every week. And so, hey, if you could live chat with me, comment, that's great right there. So, and again, that's another thing. Live chat. Get in the live chat and talk to me and or Del about Civil War here, and get in there. Do it. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do this here because I'm kind of thirsty. Del, what I do is I do this thing called brew review time, where I review a brew every episode. Okay. And it's usually my excuse like when I'm getting really parched in the middle of the episode and I'm like, I need an excuse, like I need to just chug, as if I need an excuse. It's my show. I should be able to drink whatever I want, right? But I feel I need an excuse, and so I need this brew review time when I'm going to review this beer. So I'm going to get that going right now. All right, everybody, and so I am reviewing tonight here, and I'm just gonna, Del, I'm gonna put you backstage here for just a second here, and I'll bring it right back up. There we go. Okay, so I've got a little symphonic chronic, little double dank IPA from Deschutes. I've never known like how I need to actually pronounce Deschutes right there, but yeah, this is like a Jay-Z Linkin Park kind of mashup of bright tropical fruit flavors with some radiant resinous pine here. And all of that comes together at to the tune of a 9% alcohol by volume double IPA, or yeah, double IPA. There you go. I'm having a brain fart right there. Like, what kind of beer is this? But yeah, this is the symphonic chronic. This is my first time ever having this beer, and I have to say, I'm digging what I'm drinking here, everybody. Digging what I'm drinking. And yeah, it's got some flavor to it because, like I said, it's a double IPA, so it's got extra hops here, and yeah, it's what's IBU is like 60 IBU, and that's international bitterness units for everybody in case you didn't know that. So it's got a IBU rating of 60, and it's 9% alcohol by volume. And I just dig the can. Look at that can. Look at that groovy can right there. It's pretty badass right there. Let me get a little closer look right there. The double IPA right there. But yeah, probably you're probably not gonna be able to, like, just jump into your jalopy and go to your local Gas and Gulp to grab yourself some of this right here. You're probably gonna have to go someplace like GoPuff.com, Drizzly.com, or Open Bar. Open Bar is an app where you can get booze delivered to you there. But yeah, I think it's worth checking out. I'm not getting any money from this brewery, so this is a totally objective review. Or, I wouldn't bullshit you, and I'm not getting any money from those websites I just mentioned there as well. I'm just trying to help everybody out with getting some good brew where they're at. Okay, so enough talking about it. I'm going to take a little drinky drink right here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep. All right. And so that has been brew review time. All right, let's get Del back up here, and Del, anytime you got a bail, hey, just let me know and whatnot. So,
oh no, you're good. This is fun for me. I'm telling you, this is kind of bringing me out of my shell a little bit, because
good.
Yeah.
Good, absolutely. So yeah, you're knocking it out of the park right here. So yeah, very easy to talk to, and I love everybody. I'm sure everyone loves hearing from you right here. But so with Civil War, I mean, is there anything like you would have done differently if you were the director, if you were calling the shots, if you were writing this?
I would personally, as a person who's a creative person, I would have set the movie up a little bit better. Like, it just went right into like Civil War. There was like no build up to it. Like, there was no rhyme or reason. Like, it just left me with questions of like, okay, why? I'm the type of person, like, my mind is a very imaginative. I'm like, okay, how did all the cars get stuck on the highway when they were driving on the highway? Like, when were they there? How long have they been there? What happened to those people? Were they like zoomed up in the rapture? Like, what happened to these people? Like, nobody knows what happened. So I was like, I was left with a lot of questions. Like, I really didn't understand like why I didn't know why they were doing what they were doing.
Right.
We just went right into a movie where people were fighting a civil war, and everybody was just fighting. And you had like some journalists that just wanted to get some pictures, and they were willing to get their pictures at any cost necessary, even if it like they were willing to die to get their pictures, and whatnot. And I was like, okay, this is like too much. Like, I was like, I need some reason. Like, I need to know, okay, why, okay, how did I need to know where did Lee, where did Jesse come from? Like, she just popped up in a thing, and all of a sudden went along with some people. You know, like, how did Lee get to where Lee was? I mean, why was Sammy with them? Why did Sammy not stay somewhere where he would be safe? Like
Yeah.
it was just like I was just left with a lot of questions. Like it just seems like this group of people just somehow left and popped off and left together.
Right. Yeah. Makes you wonder, if they are going to do a Civil War, like a prequel of sorts to this, where they do go over like how the Civil War started, how it went down. Because if this movie makes its money back, which it looks like it's going to, because they had a pretty good first weekend at the box office, and this movie only cost $50 million. I mean, it's A24, the studio that put out this
Yeah.
movie. It's their most expensive movie, but $50, that's like a drop in the bucket. That's like change that Paramount Pictures finds in their couch cushions. I mean, that's nothing. But maybe this movie will be successful enough to where A24 will be like, all right, hey, let's make the next one for like 150 million. That way we have enough money, like we can have all kinds of battle scenes and shit. I mean, because I'm picturing like, did you ever see Godzilla -1?
No, I didn't know.
So the reason I bring that up is just because that's a movie that looks really impressive as far as like the scale and the scope and the visual effects. And that movie only cost $15 million. So I can just imagine what A24 could do with $150 million to make this Civil War movie, where it's got a lot more action like we saw in the third act of this movie, right? But it's like nationwide and whatnot. So I wonder if they would do something like that, where they do some like a prequel to Civil War to kind of feed that thirst that people obviously have, right? To see the origins of it, and I think it would do very, very well there. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think so. I mean, I think so too. Like, because like I checked the actress who played Jessie. I follow her on Instagram,
Okay,
and she said something about like, yeah, I know they're the #1 movie in the country right now.
you're right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think honestly, so many people like are curious about the Civil War thing. So a lot of people like when I went to the movie, I went to the 12:45 showing. Granted, there wasn't a lot of people in the theater though, but I saw people of all ages
Yeah.
wanting to see the movie. Like I saw some older people in there, and I'm wondering if these older people thought it was actually going to be like the Civil War like type of movie, because they were like when they walked out. I talked to the husband of the couple, and he was like, that was not what I was expecting.
They didn't talk about Gettysburg even once.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. He was like, that was not what I was expecting. And I think the actress who played Jessie, I think she may have a contract or something with A24, because I think because she played Priscilla Presley in the movie Priscilla, and I think Priscilla was produced by A24 also. I could be wrong. Because the only other movie I had ever seen her in was in 2020. I think it was 2020. But the movie came out during COVID, and she was in the sequel to The Craft.
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
she played you remember the girl with the short hair in the original Craft?
Yeah. Yep.
She plays her daughter in the sequel.
Oh, okay.
And that movie came out during COVID, and then when it came out during COVID, they released it online pretty much because nobody could really go to the theater to see it. And it was a kind of a interesting movie to watch. I don't want to give it away though if nobody's ever seen it, but like we find out towards the end of the movie that that's who she's, because she's like, she has all these magic, she gets adopted and she has these magic powers and she doesn't know where they came from, and then she finds out later where they came from. And I was like, this movie could have been good if it was shown in the theater. I think because the Craft has a following of people, but the thing is, they got stuck. It got sent to streaming instead, and so it kind of did mediocre.
Oh, right, yeah. Because it's been like what the original one came out, 95, 96 or something
96,
like that?
I think 95, 96. Yeah, and then this one came out in 2020. That's the only thing I've ever seen this actress in, because when I watched the movie, I was like, man, she looks familiar.
Right.
And I couldn't put and then I went home and looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's her. I was like, I knew
that's
that was her.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Thank God for IMDb or wherever you went, right?
Yeah.
To find out who she was. And I know she's going to be in the next Alien movie. She's going to be an Alien Romulus.
Really?
Coming out here. Yeah, I think she's the main girl. I think she's going to be that. She's going to be it. She's the main character in that. And it comes out in August. So yeah, I think her star is on the rise.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, and I've heard good things about Priscilla. I haven't seen Priscilla yet. But I mean to. But yeah, we got the Gray Man here in the live chat on Pilled. Right there, and he's got he's got Don Johnson's character from Django Unchained. Big Daddy, was that his name?
Big Daddy.
Did you ever see Django Unchained?
No, but I was told I should watch it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a it's like Leonardo DiCaprio, Jamie Foxx is awesome in it. Christoph Waltz, and then Don Johnson. On his comeback career. After he wasn't really in the limelight for about 30 years after Miami Vice, and then now Don Johnson's got a resurgent career. But the great man, appreciate that sticker of a Big Daddy. Of that. So, Civil War it's a very provocative movie, and I do, and I think that it was intentional on A24's part that it released it this year, because we wanted to be provocative. Like, hey, what better year than this hostile election year of 2024 to release this Civil War movie here? Because Alex Garland, he wrote this 4 or 5 years ago. This thing's been in a can for a while, or they could have made this a while ago, or they could release it next year. I personally love the fact that they released it this year, because I love how you get all these people getting their panties in a bunch, like, how dare you release a Civil War movie in an election year? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Who cares? What the hell? Like, how delicate and fragile are you? That if they don't release Civil War, everyone's gonna join hands and sing Kumbaya and dance around trees, and no, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna hate each other's guts just as much if you release Civil War next year. So
Yeah, and because that movie, basically, if you watch that movie with an open mind and whatnot, me personally, I came from it. Basically, I was like, you know what, this is what we could become if people, like I said earlier, people don't unite and somehow come together. And I say it's sad that even because I was around, I was, how old was I? I had just turned 20 in September, when September 11th happened.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, I just turned because I graduated high school in '99, and then I went into the military in 2000.
Okay.
And then I had just voted for the first time and whatnot, and then all of a sudden 2020, and then in 2021, September 11th happened. I was in aircraft corrosion control school and stationed in Florida at my first duty station. I had only been in less than a year, and then and that happened. Actually, I had been in a little over a year. I had been in the military, and then all of a sudden that happened. And it was so weird was, even though if the country was, no matter if you were Democrat, Republican, people somehow under that tragedy and all that stuff that happened, it brought people together. And I was like, hopefully, sadly, it doesn't take another tragedy for people to unite and come together. But like I said earlier, I posted on X earlier, sometimes it's a constant reminder for me that is we need to sometimes unplug, detach, step outside, touch grass, and get in touch with the real world. Because one of the things you'll find in the real world, people are a lot more nicer to each other in the real world than they are online.
Oh, media. Right.
If you live in a social media bubble online, if you live in the social media box online on X and stuff like that, you would think, man, the whole world hates each other. But then when you walk outside, you'll see that people, because usually the things is you meet strangers. I just made a whole new friend over the weekend. And he's a military veteran too, and we hang out it's so funny. Our therapists at the VA both told us that we both need to get out and make new friends, and somehow we connected, became friends, and now we talk now we hang out every day now.
Right. But, excellent.
Yeah, so we were talking, and I was like, you know what? He doesn't know anything about my political background. He doesn't know the type of stuff that I believe. All he knows is, hey, I'm a military veteran. I believe in God and stuff like that. And I post on social media here and there and whatnot, but he doesn't know about stuff. And that's what I said. Most people in the real world will get along with each other no matter what. But I think in the social media bubbles online, that's where you see the most toxicity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like you said it great. Touch grass, man. Get outside. Don't live in X. Don't live in Instagram. Don't live at Facebook. Okay. Because, that gives a false impression of hostility and division right there. Like right now, Dell, you're a black man. I'm a white man. We're at each other's throats. Okay. Yeah. Supposedly we hate each other. Okay. If you listen to X, right? Listen to Joy Reid or anybody else on MSNBC or some Hollywood celebrity. We're supposed to hate each other's guts, right? But, like you said, you go out in the real world, no, everyone's cool. Everyone wants to just hang, right? And everything's, and so I think that, if everyone takes your, advice right there and just realizes, okay, social media is its own world. It's not at all an accurate representation of the real world, and everyone just chills, then I think the world would be better. I would like to see things like, and not to get religious, but I also would like to see on top of people getting out and touching grass and honing their people skills. I like to see the church get more involved too. I like to see the church get involved like it did, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and well beyond that, well before that there. Now, because if we have that, if we get back to like good Christian values, and again, I don't know how you're.
I'm a
What's your
Christian.
thoughts
That's
on
what I
it?
said. That's
Oh,
what I
good.
said. I believe in God.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
no, dude, I watched the video this morning. It was it's like a guy. He was a Marine. His name is King Randall, and he has like that school in Georgia where he like basically he started a school for young men in Georgia to basically teach them skills about how to like basically be a man, how to like change your oil, how to tie your tie, how to like there's different like life skills and stuff like that.
Right.
And he did a video, and I saw it on Instagram this morning. He said he says the people have been spending too much time inside of the church walls when they need to get outside of their church and get into the communities and start being the church to the communities instead of sitting behind church walls. And there were people in the comments that got offended by that. And he's like, yes, you got offended because you didn't listen to what I said. Basically, the church needs to get out into the communities and be involved with the communities instead of standing behind church walls and taking money and doing a song here and there and everybody being kumbaya. You're not really reaching the world for Jesus Christ right now.
Right, exactly. You're supposed to be a witness, right? You're supposed to be a Christian enough to where people can look at you or just spend 5 minutes with you and know you're different.
Yeah.
In a good way, right? You're different in a good way that people aspire, they want to be you, right? Where too many Christians nowadays are like, I can't tell you're a Christian. You act like me. You act like you act like a heathen, I mean, you don't know. And I remember like when I was a little kid, Mormons, or whatever you think about them. That's the thing about Mormons. They live the life. All right. They live good lives. They're all about family and all that stuff. And I'm not a Mormon or anything like that. But the reason I'm saying this is because I'm speaking to these Mormon families that used to come to witness to my mom and dad when I was a little kid. I remember looking at them like, wow, they're so much different. Their lives seem so much more joyful and happy, and they seem to have everything more together than my parents do or anybody else that I've met so far. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, if you're a Christian and you're doing it right, if you're being a good witness, that's how you should look to everybody. I mean, you run into people that are like, I don't really want to go to church. And my uncle, my mom, they all tell me church is, evil and stupid and hypocritical and whatnot. But I see these people and I want what they got. They're living their life. So that's the kind of people you're supposed to be. So yeah, we need more of that.
Yeah, that's what I said. And like I watched the thing. Like I remember even when I was younger, like because I was born in the '80s, grew up in the '90s, But I remember like even in the '90s, like growing up in Texas in the South Houston area, I remember like this church bus. They used to come pick us all up for like church, and the thing is, my mom, because my mom worked sometimes on Sundays, but she would let this church bus come pick us up in the morning. They had donuts for us, and then they would take us to church. I remember it was Sagemont Baptist Church. Now it's called Sagemont Church now. But I used to go to this church, and I kind of like grew up with like some of these kids that I never probably would have met had my mom not let me get on this church bus and go into like, and what they do is they would go like into the apartment communities, start outreaching to parents and picking kids up for church on a Sunday morning and taking them to church. And I was like, man, that type of stuff needs to happen again, because I feel like so many people. It's like we're in a world, and we're in a broken world, and our world is broken right now. But I feel like we need the Lord. We need Him more now than ever, because people are just so like divided and stuff. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that's part of an intentional campaign to divide us all en route to destroying this country. I don't know if you ever heard of Yuri Bezmenov, but
yeah, I think I had. Yeah. It was a video that I watched. It's not a recent video. You're talking about the older video?
Yeah, back in the 80s. Yeah, he was like a KGB defector to the States. And he talked about how the Russian plan was to corrupt through academia, starting on academia, in college, like, infect professors and academia with their message. And then it's not going to happen right away. This, their plan to divide and destroy. This is going to happen right away. It's going to take a few generations, but they started doing that, like, according to him, they started doing that like in the 50s, right? Here we are in 2024, multiple generations away from the 1950s right there. And if you listen to what he says, what we're seeing right now with the division and the plot to destroy us all, this aligns perfectly with what he's saying. you know, taking people and making them care about skin color or sexual preference and all that stuff, and saying, all right, hey, group with this skin color right here, yeah, I know you've been getting along with this group with this skin color over here, but they hate you. All right, hey, you, this group, this skin color, that skin color group over there, they hate your ass. You know, they're like trying to divide everybody, right, right there, and that's why you know, in my reviews there that I do on Sunday, I have this segment called "Is this a woke after school special?" It's basically warning people whether a movie is woke or not. And the reason I do that is because I think of the whole concept of woke as part of this plan to divide and destroy us.
Yeah.
You know, part of woke is dividing people based on skin color or sexual preference or defiling or trying to not spoil, but like warp your children's minds through like trans teachings and indoctrination, all that stuff. All that stuff is all lives in the world of woke. And to me, woke is like just one of the spokes in the whole wheel of dividing and destroying this country. And so that's why I make a mention, and I take careful attention to note, hey, whether a movie is woke. Now, Civil War is not woke at all. To me, Civil War leaves all that, to the wayside, to the ire of a lot of people. A lot of people because I hear the left, a lot of the left, I shouldn't say the left, a lot of the left are complaining that Civil War doesn't get political to their benefits. Because a lot of them are complaining that, hey, they should have made the president look more obviously like Donald Trump, and the troops that went in there, they should have made them look better. That's like Grace Randolph. I don't know if you've ever heard of Grace Randolph.
I know who she is.
Yeah, like that's her big gripe, is that she didn't like how those Western Forces troops like shot that press secretary, or the one that was in that room saying, "Hey, I'm unarmed," or I'm come in here. I'm in the room alone. Don't shoot me. That lady right there. She didn't like the fact that they just gunned her down, like they did, because in her mind she was like, the Western Forces, that for her that represented like liberal Democrat troops, and they were going in there to take out Donald Trump, and that ruined, and the fact that they shot her like that ruined that for her. So there's all these people that just wanted their political bias on this movie.
Yeah, because I'm guessing the people that came in and shot were supposed to be the right wing people that came in and she got shot at the end or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but what's crazy is, like I said, I mean, you kind of know what's up, but the thing is, they do kind of, like, to me personally, I think it's kept neutral enough to where you're like, okay, like, what side is everybody on? Like, you really don't know what side everybody is on. You just know at the end there was a group of them that didn't like that president, and I'm like, was that them like trying to assassinate Donald Trump, or is the other way around where they're trying to assassinate the Joe Biden type? Right. You really don't know.
Yeah, were those soldiers all? Did all those soldiers have like young daughters? And they're picturing Joe Biden sniffing the hair of their daughters.
Yeah,
I'm smoking this old fool.
I was like, something that just seems kind of like I said, like at the beginning, I'm left wanting more. I'm like, okay, what? I'm like, and I'm the type of person, and this is just me. Like, once you get to know me with movies, like I watch a lot of movies, and especially when there's no sequel to the movie, I'm the type of person at the end, once the movie is over for years, I'm wondering, okay, I wonder what these people are doing now in this movie, and I think that's just how my mind works, And I'm like, man, like Kindergarten Cop to this day. That movie came out it came out in 90. I was 8, almost 9 years old when that movie came out. So I was still I was in elementary school when that movie came out, and I still watch this movie to this day. And sometimes it brings me to tears because I'm like watching it, but I'm like, dude, I wonder what they're doing now. Like, I wonder what the characters are doing right now. Is like, are they still together and whatnot? Yeah. And one of the things I love that they did during COVID, when they the COVID thing, they did like a little reunion of the Kindergarten Cop kids or whatever.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah.
And like they brought Arnold Schwarzenegger in, and like it was so cool to see these kids that are like these people that were kids who are in their 30s, late 30s, like light up like little kids over again when Arnold Schwarzenegger popped on screen and whatnot.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool to watch that. I'll link you to it. I'll send it to you later.
Please,
It was kind
please.
of cool to like watch that, just to see them like be like, whoa, because like the twins that played like that says like in the I don't know if you remember the movie where they says my mom says our dad is a real sex machine.
Right.
Those
That's right.
those are real twins and whatnot. They own like a business now and something like that. Then there was twins that played Dominic, and I found out from this that the girls were actually supposed to be Dominic, but they gave Dominic to the blonde head twin boys or whatever,
Oh, sure. Okay.
because they didn't know if they
Gotcha.
wanted Dominic to be a girl or a boy, you know.
Right.
So and then
Yeah.
yeah, but it was kind of cool to watch that, like the kid that says girls have a penis, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Right. Yeah.
He was in that, and then like, cause he was he was, but he was really young, but whatnot though. But yeah, he was on that. He was in the reunion, and a few
Gotcha.
other people were on it too as well. But yeah,
Let me guess. He's a gynecologist now.
no, he's still an actor. And the thing is, I totally forgot about him. But he was in Pet Cemetery too before.
Oh,
was
that's
in-
right. Yeah. Yeah. He played the
was
little
in-
kid that got ran over.
Yeah, because he talks about, he was like, yeah, I was in Pet Cemetery. Because when he was on Kindergarten Cop, he wasn't actually even 5 years old. They said he was 3 years old.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's right. It just reminded right when you said Pet Cemetery, like, oh, that's right. He's a poor little kid that got hit by the truck.
And then he played Michelle's one of Michelle's friends in on Full House.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Gotcha.
that too. Then obviously he went away though. But when you see him now, he kind of looks the same though. But yeah, but a little different.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of fascinating seeing all those child actors nowadays and whatnot. Haley Joel Osment, it's like the one that really like, holy shit, that's what he looks like now.
Yeah, and then the redheaded kid. I didn't know this. I found out from this reunion thing. The redheaded kid, the one with the red hair, red hair, the one that had like that said, "Mr. Kimball, are you going to be all right?" or whatever.
Oh, sure.
At the end, his real mother was in the movie. She played his mother in the scene where the women that didn't have the makeup on or whatever.
Okay.
And when they were like want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger, she's like, I don't have my makeup on. Come to find, I didn't know this, but they said in the thing that was his real mother that they put in the movie.
Excellent. Yeah. That's what you were saying. Like the girls or Dominic, he was played by twins, right? That's a common thing you see in movies. Like when they have child actors, a lot of times they're twins, right? Because they can't get one. That one has to go to sleep. They bring the other one in and all that stuff. So
yeah,
little movie idiosyncrasies that you learn about right there. So, all right. Well, let me do this here. I'm going to switch things up here a little bit and tell everybody about a little. Let's do this here. I'm going to drop it down the old backstage there once more there, Dale. I'll bring it right back and tell you all about our Flip City magazine. No, I shouldn't say our. It's not ours. But Flip City is kind enough to link forces, to join forces with the Till Death Podcast Network. And Flip City, what is it? Well, remember Mad Magazine? Remember Cracked? Back in the day, you'd want something funny to read, and you're like, man, what's this early? There's Reader's Digest. There's People Magazine. Those are lame. I don't know. Oh, hey, there's Mad Magazine, right? Well, now we have something even better than Mad Magazine. We have Flip City over here. So let me get that over here. There we go. Flip City Magazine. So this is the non-woke Mad Magazine, the non-woke Cracked. I don't know if Cracked is even around anymore, but yeah, non-woke Mad Magazine. Okay, so this is a funny, hilarious, comedic magazine for just common sense folks like you and I that just want to, just crack up. All right, just want a good giggle. You're having a hard day at work and you just want a way to unwind and just relieve the tension of a hard work day. Well, yeah, just open yourself up a issue of Flip City magazine, and you don't have to worry about wokeness being in it, liberal politics. They have one MO and one MO only, to make you laugh your ass off. Okay, and so yeah, check out Flip City right there, and as it says down below, you can click the link in the description down there. So the description down below, right? And you're going to get 10% off your order of the best non-woke comic around if you put in promo code movies. All right. So, and you're going to be doing yourselves a favor. All right. So, because, I mean, it's not 1978 anymore. Okay. You can't open up Mad Magazine and Alfred E. Newman and have them crack you up without getting some kind of woke indoctrination anymore. Okay. So, they saw a need for a replacement for that, and Flip City, they came to the rescue and Flip City right there. Okay, so check it out. Get yourself some Flip City magazine and laugh your ass off. All right, let the good times roll, everybody. And all right, moving on here, and let's bring Dell back up on the stage. Right here. So now, Dell, we were talking earlier here before the show about like our favorite war movies, right? Because, and I brought that up because that's one of my favorite topics of all things, not even just movies, just favorite topics of all time. Everyone's favorite war movies. Now, your favorite three favorite war movies: Full Metal Jacket, tip-top choice, Black Hawk Down, and Forrest Gump right there. So if you were in Black Hawk Down, is there a particular character in Black Hawk Down you would be, or do you not get that much into it? You just enjoy the movie for what it is?
I enjoy it for what it is, but the thing is, now that I haven't watched that movie in so long, and I own it on DVD, but I haven't watched it in so long. Part of me wants to go back and revisit it.
Yeah.
Since I've been Instagram, well, ex Twitter friends with Matthew Marsden, who was in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that guy.
So now he's a Texan now, so we follow each other. So I was like, you know what, I want to go back and revisit this movie just to see what what it was like, because I know it's based off a true story, of the events that happened. So I want to kind of go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's cool seeing Mark Marsden, or Matthew Marsden. Sorry, Matthew Marsden.
Yeah.
He's in there on X, and he's just like a regular guy, common sense kind of guy right there, and he had a halfway prominent part in Black Hawk Down. I mean, he was in there with Eric Bana and Josh Hartnett and Sam Shepard and all those guys, in Black Hawk Down. I mean, and he had a hilarious part. I mean, he had the cast on his hand, I remember, in there, and he's got like the sergeant that welcomes all the new troops or whatever. But and then you look at that cast of Black Hawk Down, and it's just amazing in there. I mean, we had Nikolai Coster-Waldau, future Jaime Lannister on Game of Thrones. He's in that movie. You had what's his face from Modern Family. He was one of the medics. God, I can't remember what the character's name is on Modern Family, but he's in there. Jeremy Piven, from Entourage and a number of movies that you've seen. Jeremy Piven's a helicopter pilot in that. Trying to think of the Irish guy from Trains, Ewan McGregor. I mean, William Feitner, all these guys. And a lot of you're watching, you might be, who are these names? Like, what are you talking about? Just go to IMDb, look up Black Hawk Down, look up these names. You're like, oh, that guy. Okay, yeah, I saw that guy in Armageddon. Okay, But Black Hawk Down just had just this massive cast, and then Ridley Scott directed it.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about it is just the Hans Zimmer soundtrack as well. So he did that. That soundtrack. It's pretty varied. I mean, it's got like some synth, kind of like some kind of big, heavy bass notes to it, and then it's got like some music with like some African notes, I guess, to it, and it's got some orchestral strings to it. But I really dig, the Hans Zimmer soundtrack to the movie, and then just like the helicopter sequences are badass too. Just with all the Black Hawks and their first assault to go in there and get those Somalians that they're going to bring back, and how that all goes to shit. I could talk about Black Hawk Down all day long. I know it sounds like I'm rambling right now, but I love it.
Like one of those things. Is like the thing is, I watch a lot of movies, even if they're military related, because I kind of like watch. Dude, I watched Jag because it was like military related.
Oh yeah,
and especially when I was in the Navy, because I would kind of like point out the things that I was like, okay, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right, or whatever. But
right.
I mean, because the thing is, even though Top Gun, that's not a war movie, but it's kind of. But I was aviation when I was in the Navy, and that was Navy aviation, so. I kind of understand that. Like I remember watching Jarhead, Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, and whatnot, and like all these different like war type. I told you I called Forrest Gump a war movie because I was like, it's kind of a war because he's kind of fighting the war. He's fighting, I think, in the Vietnam. I think it was the Vietnam War. That they were in, and so I was like, that was kind of cool. So to him, in my mind, it's still kind of a war movie, kind of.
Yeah. It had a different perspective on Vietnam, that a perspective you're not going to get from Platoon or Apocalypse Now or Hamburger Hill or Full Metal Jacket.
Metal Jacket, yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the. We had big old fat rain. We had sideways rain. We had rain that seemed to come up from the bottom. Like you didn't have that in those movies.
Yeah.
And then I think it had some cool battle sequences in Vietnam. Unfortunately, when Bubba died, and Forrest Gump is going back to retrieve some of the troops, the fallen troops and whatnot, and then they start dropping napalm, behind Forrest Gump. I thought like those visual effects, for 1994 when the movie came out, I thought they were pretty badass because you got Forrest Gump literally running his ass off so he doesn't get charbroiled.
Yeah.
From that napalm behind him. But you get some pretty good action in that movie, and Lieutenant Dan, just that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Forrest Gump. So I you know what, Del, I'm right there with you. I consider that a war movie. And he was going through a war for his life, right?
He was going for a war for his life. I mean, he was going to war. He was at a war, a whole war at his life. And the thing is, the reason why I brought up Forrest Gump, though, and the thing is, I always have like a backstory with every movie I watch. I was stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina, where part of that movie was filmed. I was at my shore duty in the Navy was with the Marine Corps, and part of that movie was filmed in Beaufort, South Carolina, and it was also filmed in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And so I met like one of the kids that was his stunt double when he was like a kid in the movie, because that guy still lived in Beaufort, South Carolina. I was able to go to a lot of the places, like the little landmarks where he was, like where he went in that movie. So it was kind of cool to kind of like go see where some of that stuff was filmed at when I lived there.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he was in a war to win Jenny's heart.
He was in a war to win Jenny's heart, and then he had a son at the end. He hoped that his son. What kind of made me sad at the end was like he hoped his son didn't turn out like him.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because
he sort of he was on the verge of tears, like, is he smart? So when he first meets him, it's like he's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. See, I'm getting emotional talking about it right now, man. What the hell?
Yeah, I was like, that movie, because Forrest Gump is one of my movies. It's so funny, is I own that movie on VHS.
Oh, the big thick box thing?
The two box set.
VHS.
Right. I own that movie on VHS. So I was like, speaking of when I movie, because I don't like you. I'm a big movie person, and I still have like a big CD book of like movies or like for like DVDs and everything.
Oh yeah.
And like I found my VHS, I found my VCR. I was like, oh man, I found my VCR in a box when I moved back home to Texas, and I was like, oh wow, I wonder if it still works, because it's sitting right here on my entertainment, and I'm like, I wonder if it still works.
Yeah. Did it?
I didn't try it because I was like, I didn't want to. You know how you put tapes and they start eating it up, and I was like, I don't want to take any chance of my VHS tapes getting eaten up. So,
you got to put like your least cherished movie in there, like Encino Man 7 or something like that, So put that in there.
Or like recording. I used to record award shows when I wasn't home. I could probably use one of those. Yeah.
Bye 1992 Oscars.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then of course Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket is that's one of my favorite military movies right there. I made the mistake. One of the biggest mistakes in my life, Del, is watching the movie Full Metal Jacket the night before I left for basic training. Okay. Not because it would scare me like, oh my God, I hope basic training's not like that. No, it was because when I went to basic training the next day, and the drill instructor, Sergeant Danbacker, was up in my grill, lighting me up, calling me, maggot and whatever and whatnot. I couldn't help but smirk and laugh because I was picturing Sergeant Hartman from Full Metal Jacket, like yelling at me. And my God, he had me drop and give him like so many fucking push-ups, I swear to God. And I was like, why? Why did I watch Full Metal Jacket the night before I went to basic training there? But then he did a good job at like getting me over that, kind of like with Sergeant, Gomer Pyle. He was grinning ear to ear. He was smirking, and Sergeant Hartman was like, trying to get him to stop smiling. And Sergeant Danbacker did the same thing to me. I mean, he got me to stop smiling. I was the tallest guy in the element, so it gives me the foot locker, instead of giving me an actual wall locker. Things like that, like, got me to stop smiling. But that's one of the things I always remember Full Metal Jacket for, is I was the dumbass that decided to watch it the night before I went to basic training. And I had seen it plenty of times before then. But do you have like a favorite scene from Full Metal Jacket? Like, do I?
Other than like the ones where he like like when he like introduces himself to them and he goes off on them and freaking gets in their face. I was like, R.L. Lee Emery. It's so funny because he was a real drill
He was.
instructor in real life.
Yeah, right.
But like one of the things is like I remember there's like one part where they're like deployed and like they they meet the hookers. love you long
We
time.
love you a
hookers.
long time.
They
Yes.
love you long time hookers. That was like one of the funnier parts of that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Two Live Crew was happy for that scene right there. So,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one right there. Yeah. So, well, and then just like later on in the movie, where they're all the hookers, the one hooker shows up on the moped, and they're all debate like who's gonna get the fucker first and all that stuff. And just that whole scene.
Freaking Marines,
like,
man, Marines.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, oh,
and being stationed because like in the Navy and the Marine Corps, we all went to the same schools together.
Yeah.
But like when I was stationed with the Marine Corps, I was like, oh God, what is it gonna be like me? Because when I did my shore duty with the Navy, I was at a Marine Corps unit in Beaufort, South Carolina, like I was telling you, and I'm like, dude, that ended up being one of the best. Like I didn't like the duty station, like I didn't like Beaufort, South Carolina. But I loved when I was Navy. I loved being stationed with the Marines when I was in the military. Like I ended up having one of my best supervisors while in my entire military career when I was stationed with the Marine Corps because she was the same rank as me at one point, but then she got promoted. And then, but the thing is, like she would take us out to. One of the things that she loved movies too. So she would take us out like when new movies would come out. We would go see movies as an office because it was only like her and me and then like two other troops and another one, and she would just she would invite us over for holidays, but we would go see movies like every time a new movie came out. So I remember one of the last movies I remember us going to see was one of those I think it was Hostel or Saw. It was one of the Hostel or Saw.
Oh
movies.
yeah.
And I remember going to watch one of those movies with her, like because I was there in 2004 to 2007. So
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to be stationed with Marines there because I was stationed with Marines when I was at Corey Station in Pensacola, Florida. There, and that just floored me when I got there. Like, whoa, wait, there's other branches of the military here. And then it dawned on me, oh, that's right, it's a Naval Technical Training Center. So yeah, we're the strangers in a strange world, right? It's a Naval Technical Training Center, and so the Navy men were probably like, what's the Air Force and the Marines doing here? Marines probably more understandable because they're technically part of the Department of the Navy.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that though.
They said that they used to tell me the men's department.
It was that I can't remember what movie it was. Like, oh yeah, we love you, Navy boys. Like, yeah, every single time we gotta go do the fighting, you give us a ride. So
yep. It'd be like that. We used to say my ass rides in Navy equipment, sir. That's what Marine stands for.
That I've not heard that. So I'm getting an education here on this episode tonight there, Del, thanks to you right there. So but yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, it's that I encourage like anybody if they can go in the military, at least do like one do your 4-year tour or something like that because you're going to meet interesting people. You're going to see interesting things. I was stationed over in Japan for 3 years, so I'm a testament to that, seeing all kinds of weird stuff. I never thought that I would ever see beer sold in a I guess what we call pop machine. A pop machine or Coke machine. Like I never thought I would see that, or I never thought I'd see like this culture where, oh yeah, there's this culture where they really love like hot tubs and spas, and they have like these hot baths everywhere, that kind of thing.
Yeah, my brother was a Marine. He was stationed in at Sugi. He was stationed in Japan. That's where his first duty station was, and he came back. He would try to get in on the left side. He tried to get in on the driver's side of my car as the passenger side. He was bowing to me. He was like, it was so weird. When he came back, because he was there for 4 years, and so when he came back, he was like speaking Japanese. Like he was speaking, he would say moshi moshi, origato. Ito takimasu. I was like, he like learned these different little things and whatnot. And so it was so funny to watch. My brother who grew up in Texas is like, he was like Japanese. Like he picked up snowboarding while he was there.
Oh right, yeah.
Because he and I both grew up skateboarding around Houston.
Oh okay,
so I was a skateboarder kid.
Oh okay, gotcha. So yeah, you get Japan or wherever, yeah, and you learn up snowboarding right there. So it probably got a pretty good affinity for that. So But yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, so I mean, that's back to what I was saying with everyone should join the military, if you can, and get some new experiences right there. Speaking of the military here, I'm going to do this, Del. I do this movie military moment where I just take a few minutes because I feel it's owed to honor a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay, and a winner of the Congressional Medal of Honor. I shouldn't say they win it, okay, they're just a recipient of it, they earn it, right? And so I do this movie military moment, and a lot of people might be asking, like, what does the Congressional Medal of Honor have to do with movies? And I was telling them, like, well, you can just imagine, like, what somebody has to do to win a Congressional Medal of Honor. It's some gnarly shit, right? It's a moment where if you saw it on a movie screen, your eyes would pop out of your head. It would bug out of your head, like, whoa, what am I watching? Wow, did he really just charge that pillbox with a grenade and take himself out to save his fellow soldiers? Wow, like a really cool movie military moment. So that's the connection right there. So I am going to take a few minutes here just to honor our proud and honor-earning recipient tonight for this here. And I'm getting my ducks in a row here. Yeah, here we go. And I think like an honoree, someone who won the Congressional Medal of Honor, deserves their own music. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to move you, sir, down to the backstage there again. And we're going to play a little movie military moment music. This is the movie military moment. And for this movie military moment, our proud recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor is one Staff Sergeant Glenn Harry English Jr., who served in the Vietnam War. And let's learn more about Staff Sergeant Glenn Harry English Jr., shall we? Staff Sergeant English was riding the lead armored personnel carrier in a 4-vehicle column when an enemy mine exploded in front of his vehicle. As the vehicle swerved from the road, a concealed enemy force waiting in ambush opened fire with automatic weapons and anti-tank grenades, striking the vehicle several times and setting it on fire. Staff Sergeant English escaped from the disabled vehicle and, without pausing to extinguish the flames on his clothing, rallied his stunned unit. He then led it in a vigorous assault in the face of heavy enemy automatic weapons fire on the entrenched enemy position. This prompt and courageous action routed the enemy and saved his unit from destruction. Following the assault, Staff Sergeant English heard the cries of 3 men still trapped inside the vehicle. Paying no heed to warnings that the ammunition and fuel in the burning personnel carrier might explode at any moment, Staff Sergeant English raced to the vehicle and climbed inside to rescue his wounded comrades. As he was lifting one of the men to safety, the vehicle exploded, mortally wounding him and the man he was attempting to save. By his extraordinary devotion to duty, indomitable courage, and utter disregard for his own safety, Staff Sergeant English saved his unit from destruction and selflessly sacrificed his life in a brave attempt to save 3 comrades. Staff Sergeant English's conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the cost of his life were an inspiration to his comrades and are in the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. And we salute you, Staff Sergeant Glenn Harry English Jr., for serving our country, for your proud service, and you definitely earned that Congressional Medal of Honor. And that has been our military movie, or let's do it again, movie military moments. All right. Love that. I love doing that segment. That's my favorite segment of every show, Del.
Nice. I like that too.
Yeah. It's like again. I do it. One part of the reason I do it is I can just picture like maybe one of in this case Staff Sergeant English's family or friends watching this and like, oh my God, that's my uncle or that's my granddad, and them just just loving it. Hey, my loved one is being being honored here, where I would have least expected to see it right there. But yeah, I think we just take the men and women that win the Congressional Medal of Honor way too much for granted. Just the freedom that they gave us. I mean, not to start waving the American flag too much here, but I think that we're seeing that right now. I mean, you just get one thing that pisses me off is whenever there's like a movie that comes out featuring the military or has the military in it, like Top Gun Maverick or something like that, you get all these lefties, all these liberals like, oh, great, another movie glamorizing the military and all that stuff. And I'm like, excuse me, that's the military that provided you the freedom to take your happy ass down the street to Starbucks and go grab yourself a latte and then climb in your laptop and say whatever you want, degrading the American president or your local congressman without having to worry about the KGB coming and capturing you and throwing you in prison. All these freedoms that you enjoy nowadays, that military that you want to shit on right now because Top Gun Maverick has the Navy in it right now, they provided that freedom for you. So, like, check yourself, right? So,
yep.
Just that's one thing that gets under my craw is like how they can't put two and two together and realize, hey, no one's asking you to go out there. Hey, we need more military movies. But whenever a military movie comes out, don't shit on it.
And it's one of those things, yeah. And I was like, it was like that was always one of the people that I always had to deal with in the military. Like people like that would be like, you know what? I remember one time me and one of the female soldiers I was stationed with, because when I switched to the Army, we were walking and somebody called us baby killers. And we got like somebody. This was in St. Augustine, Florida, because and the lady was like, some lady called us baby killers. And my friend who was with me, she's the female soldiers I was with. She's like, the fact that you think I'm a baby killer, and she's like, it's kind of like interesting that you would be willing to provoke me right now.
Right,
and like, the lady just like scurried away, and she was like, yeah, she's like, she legit, she called us killers, and then she wanted to provoke the killers. I was like, really? Well, I wouldn't provoke someone.
Right, yeah. Do you think I'm that evil where I would do something like that? Can you imagine what I would do to you? But apparently, yeah, you're like, obviously, not realizing the situation right there.
I personally think that a lot of these people are going to end up like really liking the military now, because the thing is, especially if a draft ever came back, I guarantee a lot of these people aren't going to want to go. A lot of them aren't going to want to serve.
Oh, right, yeah.
I notice a lot of them don't want to serve now anyway.
Right.
They would much rather be TikTok influencers or cats or furries or doggies or
right.
whatever. And so the thing is, I'm like, and the thing is, that won't really fly in the military. So I was like, it's going to be I don't know how. I was like, dear God, I don't know what they're going to do, because they're already talking about bringing, I don't want to get too serious, but they're already talking about bringing retirees back into the military.
Shit. Damn.
I sent one. I posted the memo on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I asked all my friends who got out and retired, especially the retirees. I was like, "Are y'all ready to come back?" And like all my friends that are retired, they were like, "Hell no, we're not coming back." First of all, they're not giving you a promotion. You have to give up all your benefits. You have to give up your VA stuff and all that other stuff, and no promotion. And you got to go at least for a minimum of 2 years. And I was like, why would I go back with my friends was like, why would I go back with no promotion, no extra money, no nothing?
Right.
It's like, and I was like, but yeah, I was like, a lot of people they're starting to ask retirees to come back. I was like, yeah.
So you really got to work on finessing people there, military. Like, you're not going to sweeten the pot at all. You're not going to give us any extra money. I don't get to go up one rank at all or anything like that. If I go back in, nothing like that. It's like, and especially like if you're a veteran, you're like, hey, I didn't get the jab because I'm not in the military anymore, and I have the freedom to call my own shots, literally. And now you go in the military, like, hey, if some other, emergency virus comes along, now I'm in for 2 years, and now I got to get jabbed, because it's my ass if I don't. So that's another thing that they possibly have to worry about right there. But I always like the idea, like all the people with all the Ukraine flags on social media. Like,
send them. They need to go.
They're the first ones. Yeah,
send them.
They're the first ones that gets drafted right there. Like, oh, that's a really cool Blockbuster video flag / Ukraine flag you have in your bio right there. Yeah. Pack your bags. You're going to basic tomorrow morning. Oh wait, no, I'm going to take it down right now.
Yeah, I was like, all those people are like, that want to be like the women that calling themselves they thems, and they think they're men. And I was like, okay, if you think you're a man, if their draft comes, that means you need to go too, because I
Right.
guarantee all of them will turn into trad wives.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like quick,
Yeah.
once they have to go to war or fight
Yeah.
a war.
Suddenly they're going to find their feminine side real
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
feeling
was
so
like,
girly.
no, I feel like I was telling one of my friends, I was like, you know what? During when because like I said, I grew up mostly in the '90s, early 2000s, and so like with us, I think what was emo what back then is the new is the new thing. Like all the kids that were like us, we were like all emo and punk and all this other
Yeah.
stuff to be rebellious. I feel like the whole non-binary LGBTQ thing is like for like these young girls, suburban
All
girls.
right.
It gives them something to be other than like straight and normal. So they're picking an identity so they can claim victimhood and claim all this other stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's almost like the emo punk kids from like the
Yeah.
'90s and
The
whatnot.
goth kids or
Yeah,
something.
the goth kids. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like the new goth. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And what a transmission vehicle like TikTok and Instagram is for that. They like to spread that virus of the rainbow jihad, so to speak, around
Mhm.
right there. That's where they get it all from. Because first off, they think TikTok is cool, and then they think a lot of people on TikTok are cool. And hey, there's somebody that they think is cool is, hey everybody, yeah, my name is Chuck, but tomorrow I'm going to be Charlotte.
Yeah.
They think that that's cool, and so in the audience for TikTok, they're very impressionable for the most part. I mean, there's obviously
Mhm.
exceptions to the rule. I'm sure if you look hard enough, there's an 84-year-old person on TikTok, and there's a whatever. But yeah, you're right. I would love to see them, get drafted right there and see how committed to their cause they truly are. Now, I'd hate it for our military because we're gonna get smoked real quick. If you've got Michelle, formerly Mike, on our front lines, right there. But that's one thing I've always said. We don't want to see like what's happening in our military now.
Mhm.
Not to go off on a tangent, but I'm like, how is China not invaded us yet? Because I would think like what they see, because they see our military commercials and our headlines about what our military is turning into. How are they not over here invading us right now? Because I would be emboldened if I was them.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I said. I feel like it's I was like, basically, they probably feel like they don't have to destroy us; we're destroying ourselves.
Right, right.
And like, I don't know if you remember a few years ago when they did that. The comparison basic training video where it was like the army and the girl was talking about her two moms
Oh, right, yeah.
and the United States Army, but then like they did a comparison where it was like the Russian military where they were freaking kicking trees and freaking all kinds of stuff and doing all this savage toxic what they call toxic masculinity.
Masculinity, right?
And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? The people that are always saying toxic masculinity are going to be the ones who are wishing there was some toxic masculinity
Oh, yeah.
defending them
Yeah.
because they can't defend themselves.
Yeah, because their soldiers kind of are those kind of soldiers like Colonel Troutman was talking about Rambo in the first Blood movie, where he's talking about like John Rambo. He's taking all these people out. He'd eat stuff that makes a billy goat puke. I mean that's what he
Yeah.
said in the first Blood. Is like that's what their troops are. They're put through these hellacious, horrendous conditions to get them to a point where they're that tough where they would eat something that would make a billy goat puke and. They're training in mud and weapons and whatnot. But like you said, in our military, like, yes, I had two mothers, and we went to this trans rights protest, and we said, so you take that compared to John Rambo in China, like what the hell? Like, yeah, we're gonna get smoked. But I think you got a point. Like, yeah, the smart play is to wait us out, let us destroy ourselves. They don't even have to put us under siege. There's no blockades. They're not even blocking ships. They're just like indoctrinating us like through TikTok. Chinese or TikTok is a Chinese tool to undermine us, to divide us and destroy us. And they got Russia, like I was talking about earlier, from the 1950s. They're in on the whole dividing and destroying America and that kind of thing. So, but kind of to switch it off the serious stuff right there, because I could talk about that all day long. As
Me
I'm
too.
sure you
Yeah,
could.
me too. Yeah, yeah.
And you'll get that idea, everybody, if you go to Dell's X page there. Check out who's got his handle right there underneath his name. Yep, right there. check that out. You'll understand that Dell could talk about that stuff all day long because he's got some excellent takes about things, about topical things, current events, and that kind of thing. And that's how I noticed you is because you had some pretty good takes on some of your posts right there. Like, yeah, I got to follow this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I followed you back because I like what's so funny is like I'm picky and choosy about who I follow because I learned how the X platform works, and I learned how like they ding certain accounts. Like if you follow certain accounts, they ding your account type thing.
Gotcha.
So, and if you follow too many people versus who follows you, it can kind of like basically screw your account up a little bit too. So
right.
Yeah, but because when it was originally Twitter had so much stuff. It's called they had something called tweet cred like built into the platform, so where it like hinders your account or whatnot. But I liked your account because your account was like a breath. I knew where you stood on things, but your account was kind of a breath of fresh air. It was kind of like an escape because I was like, oh, I have something in common with this person. I was like, I like movies. He talks about movies. I like this, so I was like,
right.
It gets me out of the political social
sure
bubble that I'm in, that I'm journalisming about and whatnot. So
right. You listen to my first review you listen to or you check about it. Yeah, this movie's so great. I bet Joe Biden would hate it. Well, I was trying to get away from politics.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I do that. I review movies from my mindset, and my mindset happens to be what people call conservative, right? Me, I just call it just how I think.
How
right?
you think,
yeah, it's just how I think. And before anybody says, well, the only reason you think that is because you watch Fox News all the time, like, I don't watch Fox News.
I don't watch Fox News either. Yeah. I always get accused of watching Fox News. I was like, I'm not a boomer. No offense to any boomers, but I don't say I'm watching Fox News or like mainstream news. I like listening to people like me and you on the ground who are like independent, who talk about different things. I like listening to like smaller people talking about what's really going on because I feel like we have more so have our ears to the ground a little bit more than like mainstream news, who actually doesn't even really go out and do news anymore. They just you do whatever.
Yeah, I like alternative media there, but I mean, it's like I didn't have to watch Fox News to know. Okay, a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. Okay, like that's just common sense stuff right there. I didn't need Fox News. I didn't need Brit Hume telling me that. Right? I mean, I don't need Fox News to tell me, hey, probably it's not a good idea to let a bunch of illegal immigrants just across our border, just without any kind of regard for the safety of American citizens, no matter what race it is. If it was like 2 million, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Danish people, coming across the southern border, I would have just as much a problem with that too.
Yeah,
because I don't know what they're up to. I don't know
we have people coming from Russia now too. Like we have Russians now coming through our southern border now too. And I was like, meanwhile, here's the deal: we're the United States is helping Ukraine fight a war against Russians. Now we have Russians coming into our southern border now claiming asylum.
Right.
I was like, I don't know why people aren't like really like they don't get it. I was like, we're at war with all of these different countries. We're helping certain countries fight wars. Well, the countries we're fighting these wars against, their people are coming through our southern border claiming asylum, and they're being let into our country without being tracked. And I was like, and that's why I said it even all of the stuff we're talking about now, it still ties back into that Civil War movie, because I was like, it's like, I don't know if it's going to be a civil war or a revolutionary war, but I was like, it's something. And people, I don't know if people are tired, or they're going to get tired, or if they're tired yet.
Right.
But a lot of people, I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have our pick. Is there going to be a civil war, or is it just going to be a good old fashioned invasion? By people that are coming from across the border, and they're just they're going to get sick of, actually, like Americans that have been here originally not wanting to turn the country into little Syria or West whatever, or North this or that. I think it's sick of America not adhering to their desire to do that, and they're going to attack Americans. Is it going to be that, or is it going to be a civil war? It's like we have our pick of a couple of situations, and neither of them are good, So, but that just this. I mean, I don't stay up nights worrying about that, but it's always good to be vigilant and look out for yourself, look out for your affairs, and that kind of thing.
That's what I do. I told my mom. Sorry if I cut you off.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, I'm done.
I told my mom. My mom's 62, and she's still at my mom's a nurse, and she works at her hospital, and she walks through a parking garage to get to her car. And I always tell my mom, keep your head on a swivel, pay attention to your
Right.
surroundings, don't be talking on your cell phone like while you're
Right.
doing that. I was like,
Right.
just you need to if you have to get security to walk you to your car.
Yep.
Like I just thought because my mom lives in Houston, and I was like, I just don't like her like working at a. I still don't like her working at a hospital like and having to go to a job at night. I mean
Right.
during the day or whatever, get off at night. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's you have to take precautions and that kind of thing. But that's the thing. I just want like leaders with common sense in charge that have America's best interest in mind, and without people distorting people's motives and that kind of thing. But you were saying that up until like the last 2 years. Your Twitter, your X account, you talked about comic books and TV and movies and all that stuff, and then you switched from that a couple of years ago there. Do I have that right then?
I totally forgot I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I told you that. Yeah, because before Elon Musk came along, I took a long break from Twitter. But before that, I was pretty much doing what you're doing, but I wasn't doing it on like. But it was with comic books. I wasn't doing it like on video or anything like that.
oh,
My
sure.
Twitter account was just about because I'm a massive DC Comics fan, so I'm kind of like looking forward to the new DCU that's coming up next year.
James Gunn,
With
Peter
James
Safran.
Gunn and whatnot, because there's some people like they're Henry Cavill fanboys, and I was a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman, but Superman is one of my favorite comic book characters, and he's one of my favorite because he's the Superman. Clark Kent Superman is the reason why I fell in love with journalism and why
Oh,
I
sure,
wanted
yeah.
to be and I fell into it. So he's always been one of my
Yeah.
favorite heroes. But yeah, I was talking about DC stuff on like Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl. That was my account. If you ever go back, you can go back and you just type in like Arrow, and you can see that's mostly what I was talking about. My banner on there was Superman. I had a picture of my face. It was like in red and whatnot. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
totally different. Then like all of a sudden when Elon Musk came along, I was like, let me see. I was like, well, I wonder what I could talk about. I was like, talk about social issues, talk about stuff that you're dealing with right now. And so that's what I started talking about. But part of me wants to go back to like talking about movies, TV shows, DC comics, and talking about that stuff again because that's stuff that I enjoy, and it's kind of like an
Yeah.
escape from like the stuff that I talk about right now.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like why did you make that transition? Like was there something that precipitated that? But it sounds like Elon Musk taking over. That was kind of what triggered
I
it.
think it's free speech because the thing is, it's like when I was on Facebook, Facebook would like shadow ban me for like talking about the stuff that I talk about. And I have a thing like where here's the deal. One of the things I'll tell you, I'm an empath. I like care about people. I love
Oh,
people. I want to
sure.
see people thrive and I want to see humanity do better and thrive. So I was like, you know what? One way I can do that is like basically say what's on my mind and try to wake up as many people as I can wake up along the way.
Oh,
And
right,
so
right.
that's why I started posting on X again because like it's supposed to be the free speech platform. So
Mm.
I post a lot of stuff that I on X that I would never post on Facebook because if I posted it on Facebook, most people wouldn't see it now.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly. Yeah. I have an account on X called DJ Politics, and so that's like my alter ego that I have out there. And I post about a lot of stuff, like basically what you post about on X right now.
I'm gonna follow that account.
Yeah, check out DJ Politics. Like my avatar on there is like some DJ, like just throwing down, like at some concert or something like that. But I think the main reason I created that account where it's just basically political takes is just because you see the news and I just needed to vent. And I'm like, I need an outlet. I don't want to like call people up and bore them. Hey, I just saw this news story there, Zach. I want to tell you all about it right there. So blah, 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 blah. Like I was like, if I was Zach, I'd be like, get the hell off my phone, Van. I don't want to hear about your stupid political take. So then I was like, well, I can't call Zach. I can't call any friends. Hey, why don't I just create this X account where I can just go on there and put on my political takes and that kind of thing out there. So that's so basically what you have on your account. That's what I have is on my DJ Politics.
You'll have to send it.
Yeah.
You'll have to send it to me on X so I can like follow it.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. But I had a feeling that was why you made that transition there a couple of years ago is probably is something happened, right? Like Elon Musk taking over, or something like really pissed you off or something.
Yeah, I was kind of like over it. And the thing is, I was talking like I was posting on Facebook. I was like the same stuff I'm sharing on X right now. I was sharing it on like on Facebook, but I was having to like skirt around the words and try to make the words like into something
Right.
to where like basically to keep from getting shadow banned. Like I had to
Right.
like tiptoe. And then
Yep.
Instagram, I was just posting fun videos because I was monetized on Instagram.
Yep.
So I was making I was part of their bonus program. So I was making a few $100s a month
Right.
on just posting videos. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. And
Wow.
then Elon Musk bought this over, and I was like, you know what? I like journalism. I like talking about the social issues. I like talking about what's going on in the political system. And if you look at the way that I post, I don't post to where like people, because you know where I stand, but I kind of post it to where I'm asking a question or I'm questioning something or I'm asking
Hmm.
a question, and that's how I keep from getting community noted as well. Because
Oh, sure.
I don't post things as like this is definitively what this is. I'm posting it in a way to where I'm like I want people to like think, and then in
Right.
the comments they can go off in the comments, and if like I respond to like some of the people in the comments, here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sure, like a quest
him
for
buying the
knowledge.
platform and then me getting paid for the journalism that I do and like the research that I do and the stuff that I write about and me, writing my thoughts down and stuff like that. I was like, hey, it was a no brainer
Hmm.
for me. So that's why I jumped, head first into X. So X is like my main thing right now. But like since
Hmm.
I bought this equipment and stuff, I kind of want to start like filming videos and kind of like doing other stuff too as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you do that full time? I mean, you're monetized enough to where you do it full time or something?
With X, I'm not telling, I usually don't tell people how much, I
No.
don't make a lot. I don't make as much as like the Krasensteins or like the
Hmm.
people and whatnot.
Those
I
guys.
only, like a month, I make like maybe like $125 a month.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, other than that, I have like my retirement and stuff like that. And
Oh, sure. Okay.
all my, so I have pretty good in it, like on weekends if I don't have anything else. That's what I said. I kind of want to start making videos and trying to stream because this right here, like I said, this is the first time I've ever been
Yeah.
on the stream, done anything, and I was like, okay, I was like, you know what? I was like, I
Yeah.
could probably do this. I was like,
Yeah.
I think it's also because you're easy to like talk to. But yeah,
Ah, appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. Right back at you, man. So yeah, yeah. Hopefully, yeah, you're finding out that it's not some big deal or it's not anything to be, you know, nervous about or apprehensive. That's a better word. Apprehensive about because, yeah, once you get into this, you'll find out the hardest thing about doing this is the bells and whistles, right? Like, what button do I click on the software, and when do I do that? And crap, I hit that button the wrong way. That's the hardest part of it. Because you're easy to talk to. Like you obviously you have a good way you carry yourself about, so you'll do fine. It's just the hardest part is like the technical part and that kind of thing. But
yeah,
once you get over that part, boom, it's cake, man. It's cake, and it's fun. And you get to meet cool people, like in the live chat. Like we got the Gray Man TGM in the live chat, and then Folding Joker. We saw him earlier, and that kind of thing. But it does take a little bit to get an audience and that kind of thing. It looks like you already got a pretty good audience on your X account there. So that's you just got a good foundation because I didn't have that when I started this.
yeah.
I didn't have that foundation like
Because
that.
well, mine and it just because when I got back on X, when 2022 when he took over, I only had about maybe 3,000 followers, and now I have about 17,600 and something.
Wow.
And because of that, but the thing is, that's because I just post like all the time. But the
Oh,
thing is,
sure.
I wonder if I post the stuff that I like when I do video content, I'm debating on if I want to like post it on X because
Mm,
it may not be what my audience wants to see. Because like if I'm talking about the DC Comics movies coming out or DC Comics this and stuff like that, these people may not want to hear about that because I posted about
right.
Superman. Today was Today was Superman Day, and I
Yeah.
posted
Yeah.
about Superman.
Yeah.
Not many people engaged with the post for Superman Day.
Right.
So, but
Right. Right. Right.
if I post something about politics or something like that, or something what do you call it, like people get they rage about politics and
Oh,
whatnot. And so
right.
if I post on myself, I'll get like thousands upon thousands of impressions on that.
Yeah.
But going forward, if I were you, hopefully, if you ever do like short form video, probably posting them on X would probably be good for you because that's the people who post videos are the ones who make the most on X right now
Mm.
because they're starting to add ads to videos now.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't delved into. I am not the most learned guy on social media. Like, if you do this, this is going to make you the most money. If you do that, that's going to make you the least amount of money. I've got my ideas. I mean, because I watch enough content where I get the idea, like, okay, if I put out a lot of content where it provokes emotions, provokes anger in particular, you're gonna get a
Uh-huh.
lot more engagement. Because I noticed that by putting posts out on my Movies America, where it's kind of just more fun It's supposed to be amusing and not political at all. And I barely get any engagement whatsoever. But if I put out a post like, here's another woke movie, like, boom, that gets all kinds of, well, at least it gets more engagement.
Yeah.
Than a post where I'm just trying to be funny and neutral, or, fun and aloof and whatnot. So people want to be provoked, right? They want something that conjures up those emotions.
Yeah.
So that gets the clicks right there. That's why they call it clickbait, man. It's like on YouTube, but YouTube's another example where I wonder, like, why do the people keep putting the same headlines and descriptions and thumbnails up every day? Like, how many times can I hear that Disney's in trouble again? Hollywood's on the verge of dying. Like, you had like 17 thumbnails like that last week. Like, why are you doing it? And it's like, well, because it pays. They get a lot of eyeballs and views and whatnot and that kind of thing. So it's like, they're not being stupid. I'm being stupid. So there. So that'd be why. So there's a method to the madness there. That's for sure.
Yeah, because the videos, the kind of videos that you would post. It's funny that we're talking about a lot of stuff, but the way you can edit your video, your initial review of Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
I forget how long that video was though, but you could, for like short form content, you could edit that video, your review down.
Yeah.
And pick like the best parts of the clip and put it down and post it as a video for it to like just be on X for like short form or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, like I was gonna say, it was because I was gonna watch your review of the movie like what you did before. I was like, I kind of want to watch this. I want to see this movie before I watch his review.
Like 39 minutes long. What?
Yeah, was it 39 minutes long?
Yeah, it's like it's like a little over 30 minutes. Yeah,
okay,
but sometimes they go up to like 40, 45 minutes long. So, but yeah, so I don't know if that's what you were just gonna say, or someone else might be thinking like, I'm not watching it.
I would have watched it, but I wanted to see the movie first. I didn't want to go like watch your review.
Oh,
and
sure.
Then, and be spoiled, because then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch the movie and then I'm gonna go sit and have this discussion about it. But no, I was like, if you ever posted like that video, you could probably edit it down to like 2 minutes.
Oh, right.
Like your review or whatever, and like do like make it quicker and whatnot, and then like post it as like a short form thing. Because the thing is, you could have capitalized off of the movie trending as well.
There you go. Yeah, good idea, right there. Food for thought, right there. I gotta, get to employ that right there, because I have been playing around with like the movie military moment that I just did, like chopping that up and just like having a movie military moment segment on there, because that's something that I could put on YouTube, and I don't have to worry about that being, copyright claimed or shunned or shadow banned or anything like that, because that's just paying honor, homage to our troops right there. Nothing controversial about that. So, but yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, kind of chop it up and whatnot. Yeah. So you get that going on. I got some hard hitting questions here. Okay, we're gonna move to the hard hitting questions here, Dell. There for you. So you said that you like tacos. Okay, before. So my hard hitting question for you is: hard shell or soft shell?
Man, I'm a Texan too. Oh crap. I like both, but like to keep my cred, I'm gonna say soft shell.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna crumble in your hand. It's not gonna break apart and whatnot. So, and like if you want to go hard shell, then get yourself like a chalupa or something like that.
Yeah.
It's got the hard shell, but it's inside the soft shell right there. Because in all things in life, I'm all about practicality, right?
Yeah. Part of my family's Mexican, so I was like, so I have to rep it. So I was like, you know what? It has to be a corn tortilla, soft corn tortilla. No flour tortilla tacos.
Right, exactly. Yeah, get more genuine or authentic Mexican right there. Yeah, don't want to be that ugly American like Taco Bell's better than the authentic Mexican. Don't want to be that guy.
No.
I got Darth Jason here joining us here in the live chat. So yeah, van with a guest. Nice to see you branching out, bro. Very cool. Yes, exactly. I know. I finally graduated out of my underoos, and now I'm in big boy pants. So, so there you go. And then Darth Jason's like, who doesn't like a nice taco? I don't know.
I love tacos. Tacos are so good. I had tacos. I had to speak of tacos. I had tacos because that new friend I told you, the veteran, like I've been hanging out with, like, and whatnot. We went and had tacos from a place locally where I'm here at, and like. But I ended up getting fajitas, my fajita tacos and whatnot, whatnot. And so like the lady was like, "Do you want soft or hard?" I was like, "Oh, I'll take both." But I was like, "Yeah, corn or flour." She said corn or flour because they don't even do hard shell. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Like, I love just like going to like because obviously us living in Texas, so I'm in Fort Worth, and I love going to like all the taco shops because he's like every single time I see that the taqueria sign, like someone gets I get excited. And I don't know if have you ever been to Lupe's Tortilla?
Loop, we because I live in Central Texas, like so I'm in the hill country, like I'm like between Austin and San Antonio right
Oh,
now.
okay,
But
sure.
we have a Lupe tortilla here though.
Have you been there yet?
I haven't been, but like
Oh,
I see it in the like in the little shopping center where like close to my house.
yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I'm sure there's some authentic like hole in the wall joint. It's probably better than that. But I'll tell you, I can vouch for their tortillas, man. It's just tippy top. And it's not the cheapest place. I found out the hard way because I'm like, I got their fajitas, and then later on, I looked at my bank statement later, like, holy shit, like $75 for fajitas. What the hell?
Dude, oh
But
wow.
their tortillas are the bomb, and I think they know that. That's why they charge a premium for that. But we got Agent Feisty Mango in the Pewd live chat right there. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I love that sticker that you got in there. I can't help but think like this Darth Jason's comment here is a little kind of dirty. Who doesn't like a nice taco?
I was thinking
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I don't know, but that's just me, the perverted side of me.
My mind went to the gutter.
Yeah, exactly. Because I got the here until I got the velvet taco or the fuzzy taco. That's what the fuzzy taco. It's a taco shop called the Fuzzy Taco.
Velvet taco. There's a lot of different tacos.
You naughty people, naughty. Yeah. Right there. And then one last very hard hitting question there, Dell. Hopefully, I'm glad you're sitting down. It's going to be very dramatic here. Grab the Kleenex. You might start tearing up. The very hard question. Is Buc-ee's barbecue acceptable as a barbecue substitute in a pinch? And I'm really hoping you've had Buc-ee's barbecue.
In a pinch?
In a pinch. Like if there's nothing else available, is Buc-ee's barbecue an acceptable alternative?
Yes.
Yes,
because I was like, I've had those, especially on the road and you're driving. But the thing is, I live by close to a Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah.
But no, like the thing is, no, especially like if you're driving, like you're on the road. This is what I do. I don't like the chopped up one, the brisket. I like when they do like the sliced brisket on the sandwich.
Okay.
It feels way more homemade that way.
Oh, sure, right. Yeah, because that's how you get it, like at a barbecue joint. You get it sliced up like that. So we kind of part ways a little bit because I do like the chopped brisket sandwich there, but I always have to get the extra large.
Yeah, same.
Oh God, it's so good. And then I'm not satisfied with just the sauce. I have to go get me some ghost pepper Buc-ee's sauce. I have to get the bottle right, and I always got to like dump a bunch of that ghost pepper sauce inside the chopped brisket sandwich to go with their barbecue sauce. So good, so good.
And I get the extra large, the extra whatever the meat went on to as well. The reason why I get it is because it makes up for all that bread that comes.
Oh, right.
So having more meat, I feel like you're countering the carbs.
Oh, right. Exactly. If they gave me like a big old bowl of chopped brisket and that was it, no bun whatsoever, and then I just had my happy bottle of like ghost pepper sauce, I just drenching that shit, right in there. Oh, that's the good stuff right there. I'll tell you. So, Darth Jason, nothing wrong if they a little pink in the middle,
Wow, yeah.
Sage words, right? I mean, I don't think Bill Shakespeare could have said it any better than that right there. Darth Jason there.
I knew it.
Yes, nothing nothing on you there, Darth Jason. And Mo Hada, Mo better. Yep, exactly. I'm not happy until flames are coming out of my ears when I leave Buc-ee's. My Buc-ee's is like 10 minutes away from me, and that's a trail of tears truly from when I get my extra large chopped brisket sandwich and I have to smell it all the way home. It's just sitting there in the front seat. I'm like, I'm just eyeballing it the whole time. I'm like, I really wish I could eat you right now, but I'm a man who believes in dignity and respect and eating it when I get home and whatnot. So, so that's truly a trail of tears. Like, oh my God. Oh yeah, Darth Jason's really going Bill Shakespeare now. So. A rose by any other name. Yes, there we go. Yeah, it's a stealing from the man himself. right there. So yeah, to be or not to be. I
To
bet that's
be.
what he's going to say next. Yeah. But I don't know. Are you emotionally okay now, Del? After those hard hitting questions?
Yeah, I think I survived. I thought you were gonna ask me some tough, like some hard questions. I'm like, oh no.
Yes, exactly. You're like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? This motherfucker. I tell you. Well, right now, this is the time where I beg for money there, Del. This is where I remind everybody that if they're appreciating what they're seeing here, you can give me what's called a Rumble rant on Rumble. And that's your chance to give me $1 or $2 or 100, I mean, because those Buc-ee's extra large chopped biscuit sandwiches aren't going to buy themselves. Am I right? Yeah, there we go. So I need money. So yeah, and only if you guys feel like it. I'm not going to be that guy like, hey, you're not very classy if you watch my show. You don't give me money. Okay, so that's not why I do the show. But if you happen to appreciate what you're watching, throw me $1 or $2 or whatever. I mean, because in this Joe Biden economy, we need all the money we can get. Am I right? So
Facts.
yes, exactly. So yeah, to give me a Rumble rant, if you're watching on Rumble, just hit that $ button down there where you put your live chat message. If you're on the tube of you or YouTube, you can give me what's called a super chat, and that's the $ sign down by where you type in your live chat message and give me $1 or $2 there. And then finally, last but certainly not least, on pilled.net. If you're watching me on there, you can give me gold pills, everybody. Yeah, gold pills equate to moolah, dinero, okay? The clams. And give me some gold pills right there because, again, barbecue sandwich, I'll tell you, I got to have them. They're my weakness. So that's enough begging for money from me, everybody. And what do we got over here? Look at Darth Jason over there throwing me a Rumble rant of $1 right there. So there we go. Yep. I think Darth Jason's telling me I need to go to Buc-ee's tonight and give myself a barbecue sandwich right there. Now, Del, I don't know if you've seen the memes that go with the Civil War movie, but they're out there.
No, I haven't seen any. I would love to see those.
Oh yeah, excellent. So, real quick here, I don't want to ignore Darth Jason. No dignity, caveman. That shit. Yeah, there you go all Captain Caveman.
Yeah, especially on that brisket. Those brisket sandwiches, they're good in a pinch. I'm telling you, man.
There you go. So when they press charges for assault on me, Darth Jason, when I take my Captain Caveman club and I knock them over the head after they make my sandwich and I run out of Buc-ee's, I'm blaming you, Darth Jason, because you said go caveman on that shit. So, so here's a little Civil War memes here that I thought were kind of fun, that I thought would enhance the show. So let's check these out here. And the first one I found here is, you're American? Okay, well, what's your take on Die Hard? Answer.
Christmas movie.
Right, exactly. Hans Gruber was secretly the good guy. All right, you may leave. You get to live. Next one. What kind of American are you? A dog American or cat American?
I'm a dog American. I don't do cats.
Me too. I got an English bulldog snoring up a storm over here 5 feet away from me, so I'm definitely a dog American. So hopefully Jesse Plemons is a dog American too. Otherwise, we're getting smoked. All right, moving on. What kind of American are you? Lord of the Rings American or Harry Potter American?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Probably Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah, I wonder if it's like an age thing or something like that. Because like by the time Harry Potter came out, I was too old. I felt I was too old for that, because the first one came out I think in 2001, right? Or
it came out in I think 2000, and it came out in 2000, and I was 19 then.
Okay.
But I liked Lord of the Rings, but it was like I kind of watched it. Like I like it. How can I put it? I like it now.
Yeah.
But I really didn't. I did, because I went and watched The Hobbit at the movie theater. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because I think because here, well, the character, the actor that plays Harry Potter, I forget his name here, of course, but he was really young in that first one right there. So, and then of course Hermione and the rest of the characters were like really young. So I was like, I felt like I was watching a kid's movie. So I was like, I'm not going to really watch that. So I don't consider myself a Harry Potter. But Lord of the Rings was like, oh, that's J.R.R. Tolkien. That's adult characters. So and by the time Harry Potter came out, so 2000. So I was probably like 27, 28, something like that by that point. So that's why I'm a Lord of the Rings American. But I am not above watching a Harry Potter movie. But I've only seen 3 of them. And the last one I saw was pretty good, the Prisoner of Azkaban one. So,
you said Lord of the Rings?
I'm the Lord of the Rings American.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I dig myself some Lord of the Rings movies. The Hobbit movies I wasn't really into, but yeah, the original trilogy, I'm down with that. So yeah, and like the Return of the King. That's a movie that like gets the waterworks going there, especially when he's like you bow to no one. Ooh, that's a good moment right there. All right, so moving on to the next one. What kind of American are you? Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays?
This is a funny one. I'm Merry Christmas all the way.
Del, something tells me he's a Merry Christmas American as well.
Something tells me he's a Merry Christmas type all as well.
It's like, Tony, the Hong Kong guy, Mr. Hong Kong, if you wanted to get killed even faster, you would have said, I'm Mr. Kwanzaa. Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all about the happy holidays. Boom.
You have to send me that meme. I like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so applicable. It makes so much sense.
Yeah. Well, you set it out like in November or December to come out of nowhere. Like Civil War. When did that movie came out? Like back in April, and Dell's coming out with that meme now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will as well. We'll get the ridicule together. All right. Hey, we got more. All right, people watching right now, like begging me to stop. No, I would never do that. Torture shall continue. All right. So you just always like kids. That's wild. Anyways, start digging.
Sounds applicable too.
That one I like right there. So yeah,
especially as the movie is so fresh in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm picturing this as Joe Biden right there. So you always like kids. That's wild. You like to sniff kids' hair? All right, start digging.
Yeah.
All right. I think this might. Oh no, I thought that was the last one. You're an American. Are we a democracy or a republic?
I know he's a republic guy.
Oh yes, yep, absolutely.
There's no doubt about that.
Exactly. He's the guy like me. Whenever like you hear this, Joe Biden or some other liberal, like we gotta protect democracy.
I'm like, we are not a democracy. It doesn't even say it in our founding. None of our founding documents say democracy. They all say republic.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Just like you're wrong from the jump, okay, in what you're trying to say right here. But I don't know if they thought like, well, the people that vote for us are typically too dumb. I don't think they could pronounce republic, or they don't know what a republic is, but they're probably more familiar with democracy. So that's why they go with that stupid, motto, I guess, what you would call it. I think this might be our last one. Yeah, this one's I'm going to save the hardcore one for last. Okay, what kind of American are you? Pro wood chipper.
Pro wood chipper.
Oh yeah, that's definitely fucked up right there. So all right, torture's over, everybody. Torture is over. I just saw those and I was like, that's just too good. I've got to share that with the world. All right, so I hit the old refresh on the live chat here. See if we got anybody else here in the pilled. And Del, when you start doing this live streaming, because I'm sure you're probably gonna start doing this like tomorrow night, right? You'll find you have to do a lot of refreshing. Okay, you gotta hit the refresh button because I know it. Sometimes like I get a live chat, look at that like nobody's live chatting. What the hell? What's going on? Am I doing something wrong? Then you get the live chat, you hit the refresh button. Holy shit! There's like 75 live chats I missed. Right there. So, all right, and then one thing I comes in handy is I have a spreadsheet. I mean, I know it's too much inside baseball to people. I know.
Oh no, I'm good to know.
Yeah, a little spreadsheet I go through, my little docket right here. All right, so right now here, just because we're really trying to drive home the point here that we've got the Bannies coming up here on this Saturday night. The Saturday night 420. Okay, everyone needs to inhale the Bannies. Okay, don't pull a Bill Clinton and not inhale. Okay, so inhale the whole damn thing. So here we go. All right. Oh, hey, Dell, we lost your video right there. So there we go. Yep. I think Dell went to either didn't pay his electricity bill or he went into a tunnel to recover a lost ring or something like that. So, but hey, that gives me a chance here to let you guys know. There he is.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. You're back. All right. Looking good, my man. Looking good. So right now I want to let you guys know that next week here, the movie that I will be reviewing, starting with this Sunday's spoiler-free review, is The American Society of a Magical Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Wait, no, it's not the name of the name of the movie. I just thought it's kind of odd. Like we have two movies with obnoxiously long titles that have come out like the last month, right? You have the American Society of a Magical. I'm not going to say that. And then we have yeah. We're so scared. I don't want to say the word. And then we have the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That's coming out this weekend. So that is the movie I will be spoiler-free reviewing on Sunday. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, the newest movie from Guy Ritchie, who seems to make a new movie every 17 minutes now. He's basically averaged like a new movie every 5 years, it seemed like before. Now he's coming out with one with the same frequency that I change my socks. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare for this Sunday. So that's how it works, Dell, is my Sunday reviews on Sunday afternoons are the spoiler-free reviews. And those come out on 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and 1 Pacific. And I'm patting myself on the back right now because I got the time zones right. And then the show tonight is the whole spoiler-heavy discussion. That's much longer than the Sunday show. So everybody, you hear that? There we go. So there's going to be a quiz later. All right. So yeah, check that out. Tell all your friends, tell all your family. If you have somebody that you even slightly remotely thinks would love to bore somebody to tears with their need to discuss a movie, well, don't let them bore you to tears. Send them my way and they can bore all of us with their need to discuss a movie. Because, Del, I'm that guy. That's one of the reasons I created this show here, is so I could like rant on and on and on about movies, because I know it's weird. The average American, the average person doesn't want to hear some schmuck talk their ear off for 2.5 hours about the latest David Fincher movie. That's so weird that people don't want to hear me prattle on about the latest movies there. So that's why this show exists right here, so I could basically bore the world and bore myself with all my movie talk. So that'll be the movie for this week right there. And so let me do this here. I'm going to do what we call releasing the scratching on pilled.net. And if it's your first time on Pilled, what that means is you're about to get paid for being in a live chat on Pilled. Like, I'm going to release all these gold pills. And like I said before, gold pills equate to moolah. And so you just got to grab all the gold pills you can. And it's kind of like when you're in that, you ever see the chambers with all the flying dollar bills already? You got to grab those. That's like what releasing the scratching of gold pills on pill.net is. Okay, so enough. So I'm going to do that right now here. And that scratching has been officially released. So everybody in the live chat on Pilled, check that out right there. Grab all your gold pills and buy yourself your own Buc-ee's barbecue sandwich, okay? So unless you live in Connecticut or somewhere where there's no Buc-ee's. Del, I feel bad for those people. Like, can you imagine living in Minnesota and knowing you don't have a Buc-ee's? Like,
but the Buc-ee's they're starting to expand out. Like, now they're in Colorado now.
Yeah.
Now they're in Tennessee. They're starting to expand, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you never know. I mean, yeah, they could be digging right now the foundation for Buc-ee's in Duluth, Minnesota, right now, for all we know. So, and hey, lucky for them if that is the case right there. So,
If I ever come to hang out with you, we're going to Buc-ee's.
We're definitely doing that. Exactly. Yeah,
barbecue sandwiches.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I live a little bit away from the Buc-ee's, right by the Texas Motor Speedway. So that's where I'm. If I have a craving, I just gotta hop in my car, 10 minutes away, boom, I'm hooked up right there. All right. So, and then let me share with everybody some other places that you should go, you should visit here. And the first one is moviesmerica.com. That's my website where I have all my audio only editions of my spoiler free reviews that come on Sundays. Now, that's if you only want to listen to them, okay? But why would you want to listen to them when you could watch good looking dudes like me and Dell, okay? Instead of like listening to let's stupid. But if you have to listen, okay, or you're blind, you can just go to moviesmerica.com. Check out the audio-only editions of the spoiler-free reviews that come out on Sunday. Or you can go to like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. That's where all the podcast versions of the spoiler-free reviews on Sundays are at. And then I'm also on the social medias, okay, that brand new thing called social media that just came out last week. I'm on that. On X and Instagram, my handle is @MoviesMerica. I'm on Gab under @MoviesMerica. You can check me out on Facebook. I've got a Movies Merica page and group, so I'm big time. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, there you go. And then I'm on Pilled and Rumble, and you can just find me there under Movies Merica. But I'm all over the place, okay? I'm all over the place. I'm like a bad foot rash. I'm everywhere, okay? So check me out, and Movies Merica is how you're going to find me at all those locations. TDPN.locals.com. That's the website that's right up there. And again, I'm not going to go into that too much because I mentioned that before. That's where all our great Till Death Podcast Network content is at, videos, blogs, all that good stuff. And then we have what every great empire should have. Remember great empires like the Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, Alexander the Great, the Ming Dynasty. Okay, what did they all have in common? Merch stores. Yes, exactly. Like, who didn't have an Alexander the Great phone case back in the day? Am I right? Okay, so yes. So in the Till Death Podcast Network, we are an empire as well. And so as such, we need our merch store. So you can hit on the merch store link down in the description and you get yourself a Movies Merica t-shirt or a Movies Merica phone case. Or we're working on the Movies Merica particle accelerator, but we're not quite there yet. So you're not going to be able to find that on the merch store yet, but maybe next week. Team of scientists behind me are working on that. All right. And then at Till Death Network, solo.to/Till Death Pod Network. So that's 10 times fast. That's where you would go for any of the links that have to do with the Till Death Podcast Network. Okay. So if you don't want to hunt and peck all over Al Gore's worldwide interweb for all the Till Death Podcast Network links, just go right there. Okay. Make life easier on you. Work harder. Work smarter, not harder. There we go. That's how the saying goes. Solo.to/Till Death Studios. That's where you would go if you want to get into the content creation game and you want to give your content some flair, like the intros that you saw at the beginning of the show, the cool background that you see behind Dell and I here with the Movies Merica and all that stuff. Well, if you want to add cool shit like that to your show, then go to solo.to/Till Death Studios, and my man Ian is going to hook you up with his mad skills that pay the bills there. But you got to make the first move. All right, so don't be that shy guy. Won't make the first move. You got to go solo.to/Till Death Studios. And we have solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. That's where you can find all the links that have to do with Sean, who's here on the Till Death Podcast Network. Yes, see that crazy mofo on the Whiskey Capitalist podcast every Monday and Wednesday evening. And he's got all kinds of great content. He's a bass guitarist, okay? He likes to snap into bass, okay? He loves doing that, and he's got all kinds of content where he's doing that. And the only way not the only way, but the easiest way to get to all that is solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. And then we have solo.to. We're getting to the end, everybody. We're getting to the end. Solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist. And that's where you go for all the links that have to do with the Whiskey Capitalist podcast show that you see every Monday and Wednesday evenings, and then every other Tuesday evening, and where they talk about the politics and hot button topics of the day and funnies and all that stuff. That's hosted by Ian and Sean. So check that out. And last but certainly not least, solo.to/Till Death Podcast. And that's where you go for all the links that have to do with the flagship show of the Till Death Podcast Network, the Till Death Podcast, the show that started it all, okay? And that is Ian and his lovely bride, Jen, telling you all about the latest headlines and funnies and hot button topics from the marital perspective, okay, from the husband and wife perspective. And if you want all that news, marinated in their marital mirth, that sounded dirty. I'm not going to say that again. Go to check out Till Death Podcast in spite of how I just put that. Solo.to/Till Death Podcast. Okay. All right. So, and I also want to shout out Dark Side Radio. Darth Jason was just here, and check out his show, Dark Side Radio, on Rumble. And then also NPP, the No Prisoners Podcast, on Rumble and Pilled.net. That's 451 Actual, Kevin, Feisty Ace, that whole crew over there. And also Woke Societies and We Are the Show. I could go on and on, all the great shows that you can check out on Rumble and Pilled.net. So check that out. So, Del, I can't thank you enough for joining the show, wrapping this bad boy up. Hopefully we can have you on here again anytime you want to come on. You're welcome.
It's my pleasure anytime. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you enhanced the show, that's for sure, because a lot of times I'm talking to myself right there, but I think that a lot of the audience was like, Van, we're sick of hearing from you. We want some fresh blood.
I saw people were happy that you had someone else here.
Right, exactly.
But no, one of the things I loved about it, because the thing is, I think when I got in my mind, because I was like I already have like my social anxiety, my anxiety is bad from the military, but I think the way I pretended it was, I just pretended like we were just talking to each other and like not really paying attention to anything else.
Right.
I'll send you some of the photos that I took from behind the scenes of like my camera here and like me, because when you go off, I'm watching you on my big screen on my TV.
Oh shit! Okay.
So
cool.
I'm watching the rest of it on the screen. Like, so when you put me in the backstage or whatever, I'm like watching it on TV when you're doing your announcements and things like that. So yeah,
that's awesome. So you usually taking like photos or screenshots?
I took photos like I took a photo of it has like, I'll send it to you. It has like of my phone when I'm sitting in the thing, and then I have like the light that's on me right now because I have a light shining on me.
Yeah, there you go.
I have my TV sitting right here, so it looks like behind. It looks like I'm behind stage or something like that. That's
sweet. There you go. I love it. So yeah, you're welcome anytime, whatnot. So hey, just to inject myself. If you ever have a content show or someone at a live show, hey, I'll be happy to be a guest right there.
I was going to ask, would you ever do that for me too? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you bet.
Here's the deal. I feel like I can learn a lot from you. So yeah. So this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, happy to help out in any way I can. I had people help me out. I didn't know this stuff. I had like Ian and Sean, who I just mentioned. They helped me out. So, but we're gonna wrap it up, everybody. But as I always say at the end of every episode, get out there, people. Those movies aren't gonna watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey! I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon, I gotta tell you. Hey, so, before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.